You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice Thursday Night Live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
And I'm Wayne.
And it's Carlos and Wayne tonight, waiting for Rob to see if he jumps in and joins us via phone, because that's what we are. We are a call-in show on Thursday nights. We take your phone calls to talk about anything board gaming related. I know that Wayne and Rob want to continue their conversations about Dice Tower East, get you into day 3, talk about what they've got played at Dice Tower East. Rob says he'll call in earlier part of the show, and that'll give us a chance to talk about it. But till then, Wayne and I will run you through our Twig, our This Week in Gaming, and then we'll also run through any news articles that we have on the Discord, as well as other ones that we may have found that are interesting to us. Remember, you can find us on our Discord channel at Discord in the description of whatever format you're watching this or listening this on. There should be a description, and there should be a link to the Discord. If you post anything in the news section of that Discord, I use that to help see what articles are you interested in that we should be bringing up for the show. So when I do show prep, I get to go in there and take a peek and see what y'all are talking about news-wise. Make sure you do that. You can always hit us up at beansanddice@gmail.com. Email us if you have questions or comments, or if you have any thoughts. You can always call in during the week and leave a voicemail. If you leave a voicemail, we'll gladly play it the next week on the next live show. So that gets us going for today's episode, which is hopefully going to be Dice Tower East Part 3.
Part 3. I think that we did it last year, too. It took us at least 3 weeks to get through it all, because there's a lot of games played, and we only have so long.
And it's a lot of new games, so it's not like you can just say, hey, I played this game. And I'll interrupt and say, tell me about that game. Like, it's new to me, it's new to you. Tell me about it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with going along on those. So let's get into our Twig, our This Week in Gaming, things that we've played this past week. I know it has not been a heavy week of gaming for me. Got a lot going on work-wise, big changes going on at the office for me. So a lot of movement, so it's got me busy.
Good changes?
Yeah, I won't say they're bad. It's just still, it's just moving back to the same area that I originally was a part of before I went to the current department I'm in. So it was very unexpected. It was very much a surprise, but it starts on Monday, so I had to wrap up a lot of stuff within the last week to be able to make that happen.
Yep.
Speaking of changes, normally logged in with us, but now on the phone, we have my man, Rob.
Hey, did I make it? Am I on?
You're on. You made it. Welcome to the show. First time caller?
First time caller, long time listener.
Well, you've won a brand new car.
Funny.
Where are you calling out of today, Rob? Tell the folks at home where you're at.
I'm in Northern Virginia, in Woodbridge, Fairfax area, probably about 25 minutes south of Washington, D.C. This was my old stomping grounds for about almost 25 years here. My dad was working here out of the Pentagon, and met my wife here, conceived a child or two here. So got some heavy ties up here to this Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area.
Then you came to Florida, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just a mess from there.
You met me, and life has never been the same.
Of course. Got me into this whole great hobby of board gaming.
Yeah, I didn't get to do it at the intro of the show because normally Rob's here with me and I get to mess with him. But did you see on today's episode of Dice Tower News, Z Garcia
I didn't see it yet.
Pops a can, a cold can, and then
Did he really?
gives the slurp right on the microphone. So that got me thinking, is he watching our show? Like,
He might be. He might be.
Sure.
They joke around about it.
Yeah.
that would be hilarious.
Yeah. That would be funny. I know they. I know they watch occasionally because they know generally who we are. I know. What was it? Dice Tower Retreat? Was it last year or the year before when I showed up? Tom and Camilla both kind of pretty quickly recognized. Oh, you're the guys from that show. Yeah, come on. So yeah, it's cool.
Very cool. Let's get you and Wayne going into day 3. I know that your connection is a phone line connection today, so we're going to burn that phone hot. Its battery's going to be drained here in a moment.
Yeah, hopefully it's sounding good, but I can probably hang out here for a good 20, 30 minutes and just kind of run through a little bit. But I we wanted to keep plowing along with our Dice Tower East ramblings, and so but yeah, let's knock it out.
All right, so we are on day 3. Day 1 would have been Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yep.
Thursday was day 2,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're jumping into Friday. Like the actual con is really starting to kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Lead the way,
Well,
Rob.
yeah, and I was going to say, Wayne can kick us off. I had a super light Friday, so I mean, I could run through mine real quick, or if Wayne wants to lead us off, I can kick in with mine. But my Friday was I had a total of 3 games played on Friday. And
Tell us about those games.
Okay, cool. So the first one that I got was, I think I must have gotten up to a late start when I was just looking at my list a little while ago. I don't have the times logged of when I played, but the first game I played is I went downstairs, or went down from my hotel. I stayed at the hotel that night, I think it was, and went over and met up with Jim in the hot games area. And one of the games he was really itching to play that was on my list, it was on my probably top 20 list of games I wanted to try out, but wasn't way at the top, was Unconscious Mind. And I know we talked a little bit last week about this is the game that Jim had actually bought a retail version of. After we played it on Friday, he went and bought a copy. I think it was Friday night or Friday afternoon in the vendors area. And then he ends up winning a copy of it. He told that story last week. He ends up winning a copy of it, the full Kickstarter edition with all the upgraded stuff. And so I don't know if he's offloaded his copy of Unconscious Mind yet, but we sat down and we started to kind of try to learn it a little bit ourselves. But then there was a couple other people who came by, and he's like, you know what? I love this game. I've taught this game to a bunch of different groups of people. Sit down, we'll run through it and we'll teach you how to play it. So him and his wife were real nice folks and ran us through the whole game. I think we found out afterwards that there was one fairly minor error that we made. But I'd say we had it was probably a good 2-hour game of Unconscious Mind. And for those who may not be intimately familiar, and I'm not going to have them off the top of my head here, but there were 2 big named artists, board game illustrators that did this game.
Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutrait.
There you go, Dutrait and Bosley. And so it's really kind of cool because they both took different aspects of the game. It's based on who's the psychiatrist?
Freud.
Oh, God. Yeah, Sigmund Freud. There you go. Yep, Sigmund Freud. And it's kind of based on him and his studies and just that time period of where that was really kind of, I guess, the hotbed of psychiatry and kind of getting into people's minds and trying to figure out how they think. And so what you're doing is you're kind of drafting or taking these patients that have these different ailments, and they don't get specific. They don't give really names to the ailments as far as I know or anything, but it's part of a card crafting system. So one of the cool things is they've got these little clear inserts that you put inside the sleeved cards. And so when you take a patient, you take a random insert and slide it into what they have, and then it's essentially a worker placement game. You're placing workers around the board, and you're trying to gain the resources that you need to treat whatever their ailments are. And so the first stage of treating a patient is on your turn. You can, if you've got the right resources, you can kind of cash them in to then remove the little insert off of the patient. And so you're kind of treating them for their first level, some of their basic maladies. And when you do that, you get a few bonuses, a few bumps on different parts, different, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Different tracks. There we go. How can I forget tracks? One of my favorite things.
Are you drinking?
In games, but yeah, there you go. No, not yet. No, actually, I did this morning,
answer.
but it's been a little while. Anyway,
He said
yeah,
this
I was
morning.
drinking. We hit a brewery up around noon, and so I guess it wasn't quite morning, but it was early afternoon. But anyway, so moving along some tracks, and then in a future turn, again, the second round of treating them is usually more complex, and so you've got some more complex things you're trying to do, and then you can eventually treat the patient, and then move them out of. You've got 2 treatment areas where you can kind of hold 2 different patients that you're trying to treat. And then once you get them completely treated, you move them out, and then you're looking to draft another one out of a group, or not draft at that point. I guess you're just picking them out of kind of a market, and you're picking people. And so there's some synergies as the game goes along, and you're building up different specialties, different abilities that can kind of trigger some combination effects. So it's really good. I mean, I would call it maybe a light heavy on the light end of heavy. Euro. There is a fair amount going on, but the artwork, I guess, to get back between Bosley and Dutrade, one of them did just the artwork of like the patients themselves, and then one of them did like a lot of the abstract kind of things you can imagine, stuff going on in your mind and the ink blots and all that kind of stuff. And so it was really, you can really tell the difference in the two different styles in different parts of the games, between the game board and just different things. You can kind of say, oh yeah, that's Bosley and that's Dutrade over there. But just the I don't want to call it a clash, but those two, the styles did look somewhat
distinct.
Different. And so
is that a nicer way to say it? Distinct?
Distinct. There you go. Yeah, they were very distinct. They were different. And you could really tell, like I say, you could tell, well, that guy did that guy did that. And it was just interesting how they came together. I could see how I know I've heard some people don't love the clashing of the two different styles. Most games we play, you've got one designer, one artist, I should say, that does pretty much all of the art for it. And this one, again, they are very distinct in their two different styles. But I thought it was really cool the way they came together. And I'm not much of an artsy fartsy kind of person. I don't go looking at art at studios or anything like that. But I thought it was pretty neat seeing the way that the two styles kind of came together and worked off of each other a little bit in the game. But
Jason in the comments, Jason Dunham agrees with you. Says Unconscious Mind looks awesome.
Yeah, that was a big part of it, and I know. For some people, that was a big attraction of the game, just those two guys coming together. But I mean, the game is well thought of. I think it is up, I should say, I think it's in 6 or 7 different categories with the Dice Tower Awards, which will be coming out here pretty soon. I know we did some picks. I don't know, Carlos, I haven't been back in the spreadsheet to see if you've gotten in there and made your picks yet, but it's nominated for a lot of different awards, and it actually may be one of the most nominated games in the Dice Tower Awards this year. It was in a bunch of different categories, certainly for art, and I think it was up for Game of the Year and a few others, heavy Euro strategy game. But it was an enjoyable game. I liked it. Jim obviously really liked it. He went out and bought a copy. Like I say, I think it was later that day, or it was no more than the next day. He showed up all of a sudden, and it was in his wagon. He was pulling his wagon around all week. And all of a sudden, it just appeared in his wagon. And was like, "Hey, what happened there?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I made some decisions." And
Carla, you would have loved the
trip over.
Sorry for interrupting, Rob. You would have loved the wagons. Like, so remember, like everyone started using wagons in the last couple of years. So now they created along one of the walls, they had wagon parking. So it was like you're at Disney with all the strollers. But it was like 200 wagons along the wall of just people parking their wagons.
I think I appreciate that. I think one of the toughest part was navigating the aisleways, trying to dodge wagons.
Yep. That was the big thing. And Jim thought it was going to be, I think, a bigger deal than it ended up being. When I first told him, he hadn't heard about it on the way up. And I was like, you heard, you're not just going to be able to pull your wagon up to your table anymore. And then I know he and so many other people, he was like, well, I keep my snacks in my wagon. I keep my, my cooler in my wagon. And he's like, that's going to be a pain in the
my
butt.
SpaghettiOs and Tabasco sauce in the wagon.
Exactly. Yes, where are you going to keep your SpaghettiOs and Tabasco sauce?
Hang on. Hey, Wayne, there you go. We got Wayne.
Okay.
Wayne will be back in a second, Rob. Let's okay. So we talked a little bit about Unconscious Mind. You got a lot of folks in here who have agreed with you. Good. Seems to be like a hit. And I know that when Jim called in, he was very much talking praise about Unconscious Mind.
Yeah, he's our resident, or one of our resident heavy gamers. I shouldn't say only, because we've got a handful of them with Alex and Daryl and some of the other guys in the group that really like their heavy Euros, and I prefer middle to heavier Euros. But yeah, this one was a pretty big hit. I could see again a little bit of a turnoff. The art really, some people really liked it. Some people didn't, just because again it was two different styles in the same game. And then some of the Euro gamers, you know what? I don't really know what the big knock was. I know some of the Euro gamers didn't take to this one as well as some people thought they would. But I thought there was a fair amount going on in this one. It wasn't certainly wasn't the heaviest game I've ever played, but it wasn't light. Like I say, I think I would classify it on kind of maybe the lighter end of heavy. But that's still saying something. That's still, for most gamers, it's a pretty big thing to tackle. And we had the benefit, obviously, of somebody who I think he had told us he had taught it to 4 or 5 different groups of people just in the week, of Dice Tower or something. So he had it down pretty well. He was running through. It was kind of funny, one of those situations with him and his wife there. She would correct him every now and then on something, and be like, "Oh, I got it. Leave me alone. Let me teach my game." So it was kind of funny that way. But anyway, it was a nice experience, and like I say, Jim obviously took to it really well. He really liked it, and so I need to play it again. I was over at Jim's house last week, and he had it off in the corner there. I was like, well, that's one we need to pull out and play again. But with him having the full deluxe version, I'm sure he's going to want to be showing that off now to everybody. So I'll get my opportunities, and hopefully you can get a game in soon too. I think you would like it. It's worker placement, which I know is a mechanism you like quite a bit. So yeah, I think it would be a good one for you to try out.
It's super pretty. I think what it is, there was like one spot, like you and I were right there, Rob, and there was like one spot, and I'm like, I know you really want to play this one, so jump in that. And then I went and did a couple of 2-player games.
Oh yeah,
but, it is a very gorgeous game. I tell you that much. The artwork really sets it apart.
Yeah. So. Yep, I agree. So yeah, I don't want to give away any of my spoilers on my picks, my predictions, but I'd have to go back and look at the list. But I unconscious mind, if I didn't pick that for Art of the Year, it was seriously in the consideration for my prediction. So we'll see how that pans out here. I think in a couple of weeks, right? They'll be doing the Dice Tower Awards.
Yeah, Gen Con.
Yep.
Okay, Gen Con. Okay, yep. So coming up quick here.
Next week.
So that was game one.
Yep. That was game one. I'll just hit on my other two, and then Wayne can jump in. But after that, I had an opportunity to go play. Actually, I had to teach Wormspan. So this is a game I had only played once before. Nick had taught it to me. Gosh, it's got to be about 6 months ago or more. We were at his house one night. If I recall, I had gotten over there. It was a Frosthaven night, and I had gotten over there. And then I want to say that maybe Joe at the last minute canceled or something, couldn't make it over. So Nick and I were looking around his house, and we were like, what game could we knock out? Not to have a full night, but just something we could play, something I had not played that was on his shelf. And, I picked out Wormspan. I was like, I've never played Wormspan. I was like, let's give that a shot. So he ran me through that back then. So I know it was Kristen from our groups, her boss's son, who isn't really a full-on gamer yet. He's kind of just getting into gaming. And he came along. He was at Dice Tower. And so she was kind of... I'd say entertaining him a little bit. When I say his son, I want to say the kid was he was probably somewhere between 16 and 20. I don't know if I ever got his age, but so he was a young adult, a late teen, and he was loving the whole experience. He seemed like he was really having a good time. He bought a small stack of games while he was there. And Wormspan was one that, for whatever reason, I guess he saw it, and I think he said because of the dragons, and that he caught his attention, and so he picked that up from the was it Meeple Source that was selling the Stonemeyer games there, Wayne?
Yeah, Meeple Source I think has collaborated with Stonemeyer before. I got a lot of my stuff from them.
Okay.
They sell all his stuff. It was pretty good actually. They almost had me because they had like all the little bird figures for Wingspan, but they had like a whole set of them where it was like misprints. So it was like there's just a little something wrong with it, and it was like, so instead of like $10 a set, it was like $6 a set. I was like, oh my god, I'm so tempted to just buy them all, but I resisted the urge.
I didn't see those.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. They had a lot of nice stuff. And they had Finspan, Wormspan. It was good. I like what they do. I just try not to I know Carlos, like last year, Carlos went nuts with the bits for Quacks, and it's like you could spend 4 times the amount of money on a game with all of the bits that you can buy from them.
I did.
So.
Yep.
You can, and I did.
For me.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love browsing their stuff because it looks so good, but man, it is expensive. So.
Well, what's funny is Melissa was looking for something, right? We something in a file cabinet or something, but I don't know where she found some meeples from Meeple Source that we had bought one year at Dice Tower like 5-6 years ago. Like you're right. You just going around and buying random stuff from Meeple Source is always fun. But in the chat, Kyle Jeeves, Mr. Jeeves, he pops in and says that he got to play some Wormspan last night, and like a good Dyson Beaner. Right, like a good Dyson Beaner, Beansanddicer. He posted it in our Discord in the recent plays. There's a picture, which I'm showing now, of Kyle's play of Wormspan last night.
Yeah. So just I guess complete that story. So he went and he picked up a copy of it. He said he was debating between the wingspan and the worm span, and he just the dragons were speaking to him. So he picked it up and he bought all of the upgraded bits. And so he money was no object there. He picked up everything. And so Kristen had messaged me because they were sitting down. It was a group of about 6 or 7 of them that had just sat down to another game. And she's like, well, they just went over and picked it up and they're looking for somebody to teach. And I was like, sure, I'll come by and teach. So I ran over there. I was not planning to play immediately. I didn't know the situation of how many people were playing. But when I got over there, it was just 2 of them that had sat down to play it. And so I was like, you know what? I could probably stumble my way through this and play a game. So I sat down and we punched everything. We opened up all the baggies with all the bits and figured out what was what. I know he bought everything for it. So I don't think there's any expansions, but I want to say some of the meeples had some. We weren't sure from the meeple source stuff, what was. Oh, that's what it's the solo player. That's what it was. So we had to kind of look through the book to separate out what was the solo player stuff and what was the multiplayer stuff, because it does have, as most Stonemaier games do, has, from what I understand, to be a pretty good automa system for Wormspan, as they do for Wingspan, and I believe, and Finspan. Yeah, y'all talked about that plenty. I haven't played the Finspan automa yet. But so it took us probably 20, 30 minutes to punch everything. It was the first time I had met him. And so we, did our introductions, a little bit of chit chat, and then we finally jumped into Wormspan. So I stumbled my way through that. It's similar enough to Wingspan that without even remembering much, you could get about 80% of it. But it is a different enough game where there were some things I had to look up real quick as we played along. But it was a good experience. So I'm glad I played Wormspan again. It kind of gave me an opportunity with playing Finspan recently, just to kind of solidify my, my thoughts that I think Wormspan is a good game. I definitely think I still like Wingspan better than Wormspan. Wormspan I still think is a little more complicated. Definitely adds a little bit more to think about. Not a lot. It's just by a tiny bit. And then, but for the same reason, again, I think and of course the theme, we've talked about that a lot. I think Finspan is still my favorite right now. But I haven't played actually Wingspan in a while. I probably need to get back, other than on BGA. I've been playing it a fair amount on BGA, but I probably need to break my copy out, even if it is just for one last time, to get that on the table and get it played again. But I definitely think it's Finspan for me, number 1, Wingspan number 2, my second favorite, and then the Wormspan I think is going to be probably the last of the 3 that I would normally choose to play out of those 3 games. So.
Yeah,
my nightcap.
Go ahead. I won a copy of Wormspan this past Christmas, but I still haven't played it yet. I need to get it played so I can compare all 3. I need to get it played compare all 3. But I'm for now, at least, I'm with you. Is I do love Wingspan still, and whenever they come up with more expansions, I'm going to buy it because I got the big nesting box. Might as well complete the collection.
Yeah.
But as far as quick play, I think Finspan. I would pull Finspan before I pull Wingspan going forward.
Yeah. And again, I think all of these I would consider. I think all 3 of them I consider, kind of not a first-time brand new gamer game. Although I don't know, Finspan and Wingspan are pretty close to that welcoming.
I'd say Finspan more welcoming than Wingspan.
Yeah, I think so, but. I'd say all 3 of them, though. I think I would probably not be my first game to introduce somebody to ever. But as far as a second game, a next step game, I think they're all 3, kind of close enough in category that they all fit that bill. And so, I mean, if somebody likes dragons and isn't so much into the fish or the birds, I don't see any reason not to give that one a shot. The Wormspan a shot first. It's my least favorite, but they're all 3, all great Stonemaier games. So, and then I was just going to jump over to my nightcap. So the only other game I got played on Friday, and this one ended up being a long game. I want to say it was 3 or 4 hours. Wayne may even have a better idea because I know he was sitting around waiting for us a little bit. He was hanging out with the nerdy weds there, Keena and William. And he got a few games in with them while he was kind of hanging around with us. But we played the Lords of Waterdeep. Scoundrels of Skullport. I don't have my BG stats up, but I want to say it was either a 6 or maybe a 7-player game that we got of that. So it was a big game. We had a lot of people. We got one of the big round tables back in the corner of the main gaming room, and we went fairly late with that. I'm trying to remember what time we started on that, but I want to say we didn't start at that until like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and we went pretty late. I mean,
it was pretty late because it was after I think we played. No, Firefly was the next day, but yeah, it was late.
Yeah, it was pretty late. I would say we went to well after midnight with that, and that was a fun game. I had heard a few people say, I guess including Tom, somebody said that they heard him make a comment or do a review on it at one point, that he would never play Lords of Waterdeep with more than 4 or 5 people. I want to say we had 7. I'm almost certain we had 7 people playing it. And it went long. It definitely was long, but I want to say this may have been one of my most enjoyable games ever of Lords of Waterdeep. And it was just because, we were having a good time. We had a lot of chit chat at the table, while we were waiting for turns to go. It definitely did not feel like a 3.5 hour game that we found out it was when we finished up. But we played with both of the expansions, the Scoundrels of Skullport, and I forget the name of the other expansion that's there. But it's 2 little expansion boards. Yeah. But we played with both the expansions, and it was a great time. I guess one thing maybe I did, and I'm sure you've run this game for me most of the times I've played it, Carlos, so you may be well aware, but we filled up all the building spots on the board fairly quickly, and I was kind of unaware that you could continue building buildings after that. Maybe we did, and I just don't remember it. But yeah, we were just laying buildings along the top and the edge of the board. There was, structures we were building all over the place, and with that many people playing, it was a good time. The skulls, which as more and more people take the skulls, they allow you to kind of do better actions, but sometimes you get the penalty of having to take one of these skulls off a little sideboard. But as you take more and more skulls, the penalty for taking it, you get a negative in-game score. And so the first couple skulls don't hurt you, but then after, I think, 4 skulls are taken off, it's either 3 or 4, then every skull at the end of the game will start costing you -1. And if either 3 or 4 or more are taken from the next section, it's -2, and then -3 and -4. And so it adds this whole seesaw in the game, going back and forth between people taking these skulls because they allow you to do some better things and to get some more resources when you're doing the worker placement part of it and trying to complete your little quests. And then there's ways to put those skulls back onto the little sideboard, get them off of your player board and back onto that. And so there's this ebb and flow, this up and down the whole game of, certain people were grabbing handfuls. I was one of the leaders in it, was just taking a bunch of skulls at the beginning. And then the second half of the game, trying to find ways to give them back and get them out of there. And the winner of the game was a first-time player. It was, what was his name?
Sheldon? Was it
Sheldon? Yes, thank you. Thanks for the assist.
Sheldon from California, Sheldon?
No, he's a local here. You've seen him at the Dice Towers, though. He comes out every year. He's with part of Michelle's group. I mean, we're all one big gaming group here.
He's friends with Rachel.
But
Rachel Lee.
Rachel and Michelle, and Rachel Lee, Michelle. And so he plays a lot of games with them and hangs around. But he had never played before, and he's fairly new to gaming. I want to say he just started gaming maybe 3-4 years ago. And so it was kind of funny because I guess coming into this, he had talked a lot about a list of games that he had played for the first time in the last year, and his number 1 game that he wanted to buy, and number 2 game that were at the top of his list. After we were done with this, he said this instantly moved to his number 1. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is a great game. I can't believe I played this before." He said, "This is the number 1. As soon as we're done here, and I get back home, I'm buying Lords of Waterdeep." So. I mean, we've talked a lot in the past about Lords of Waterdeep, so we know we're all big fans of that. But I'm 99% sure I had never played at this player count. I think my plays had all been at maybe 4, maybe 5. But like I say, at 7, it was a different experience because it was long and there was a little bit of time in between turns. But like I say, partially because of the group that we were playing with, and then we all knew the game. Other than Sheldon, he was the only first-time player, I think. So the game moved along. Well, I say that, but no, actually, you know what? This might have been Michelle. I think Michelle said it was the second time she had ever played. And so there was a little bit of briefing of a few rules just to kind of refresh her memory. But the game moved along pretty snappy. I say that about a game that lasted 3.5 hours. But with that many people, it seemed like a lot of times, I'd get done with my turn, and just a few minutes later, it'd be all the way back around to me. So people kind of really knew what they were wanting to do. But really fun experience. I had a great time playing Lords of Waterdeep, and like I say, that went past midnight, and so that I want to say maybe it was around 1 a.m. when we got done, and we pretty much unanimously, this was the third night of the con being Friday night, pretty much unanimously decided that this was going to be not an all-nighter for us, for the group, and so everybody kind of retired. I say early at 1 a.m., but kind of retired a little early and headed back to the rooms. But I know Wayne got, like I say, several games played. I'm sure he played way more than I did Friday. So let's.
I think I played 4
let's hear
games
about Wayne Friday.
Yeah, I think I played 4 games while you were playing the Lords of Waterdeep. Although I do love that Lords of Waterdeep. I haven't played it in several years now, so it would easily be in the Hall of Fame for me. I love that game.
I think I played it not last year, but I think year before last at Escape WinterCon.
It might be 2 years for me having played this game, which is sad because it's one of my, if you talk about the whole 5 games for Doomsday, like what 5 games would you bring for you into the bunker? This would be one of them, because I've said it before. I was like, not only do I love the game, but you can use the cards to then create role-playing game. You know, if I had a set of dice and it was Waterdeep, I'd have the game plus, adventure, forever. It's a great game. I love it.
It's a 13-year-old game, and it's still in the top 100.
Game. It's a great game.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's classic.
Yep. So I think, so in the morning, I know I got on the line for the Dice Tower East flea market. I wasn't crazy. There was a guy who got online at midnight and literally sat out there from midnight on for the thing. Yeah. So crazy. So by the time I got in there, I think Nick showed up and Nick and I got in there. By the time we got in there, it was just garbage. There was literally nothing left. There's one game I was thinking about buying, and then I'm like, it was like Maharaja, which has some decent reviews, but also is under 7. And so like one of my things is I'm not buying a game anymore unless it's 7 or over rating. But so the flea market,
but unless you have personal experience, right? Like
if I played it, then maybe
can't defer to BGG that hard.
Sure,
that hard. No, yeah. If I've played it and I like it and it's a 5, I'll buy it. But if I haven't played it and it's like a 5, then I'm like, maybe I should play it first, type thing.
Good idea.
But no, we went through and it was already pretty well picked through. What's funny is they had all the games from their library or demo copies that they had gotten or whatever game. And then they had like tables of like games where they clearly had like 100 copies of the same game. So like publisher had said like, hey, we're not selling them here, or like, but it was pretty bad. They were like, buy 5 for $20. And I'm like, no, I'm good. So I walked away from that, and I know I taught Nick Toy Battle. So that first one we did Toy Battle, and then we moved over and immediately played a new game to me, which was Duel for Middle Earth with Nick. So we had a great game. It came down to like the last kind of like pull or so. He built the last fortress, whereas if he couldn't build that, then I would have probably won on rings. I was collecting the hobbits. I was the good side. He was the dark side. So finally got Duel for Middle Earth played. I own a copy of it. Sorry, it's like stuttering. But no, it was really good, really enjoyable. I like Seven Wonders Duel. I like this even more because of the theme. I thought it worked pretty well. With just one play, I really, really enjoyed it. I would like to see if like over multiple plays, is there any kind of trending on one side winning more often than the other? But it seemed pretty straightforward. I like the push pull of it. I love the little war map where you're putting the control, looking for area control, and then you have
control,
and the fortresses. So it was pretty cool. It's pretty thematic. I don't know. You guys have played it probably more than I have. Have you seen any like one side has any advantages over the other, or
I feel each time that I've taught it, I have been on the Sauron side, right? So what we would call the bad guy side, depending on how you read the novels.
There's only one way to read those, but yeah.
I'm not so sure you're going to make an argument that Sauron's on the good side, but okay.
But I've lost a lot, so I feel like you might be right that the good guys, I think, might have a better balance. I don't know. That was my opinion. But my wife beat me at least a couple times playing the good guys, but in different ways, right? So that's the tough part is like she beat me on board control. So it's like, okay, next game, I'm going to control the board. I'm going to prevent that. Oh, well, I'll just drop the ring in Mordor. Kobe, just dunk the ring in there. Like, okay, I'll lose that way.
Right. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Definitely, now that I own a copy of it, so I could definitely try to get it played more often. So it was enjoyable. And I think after we finished that, we also did a little Battle for Hoth. So it's it's a couple. So the Duel for Middle Earth was a new one. The others were kind of teaching other people how to play. Yeah, replays. And then Nick, myself, and Dan, when Rob jumped into Unconscious Mind, we started to play River of Gold, which is a game I played on BGA a bunch, and I wasn't a big fan of it on BGA. So this was my first play in person of River of Gold. And Dan too. Nick had played it a bunch on BGA. I think he may have played it in person prior to that. So this was one. The board's gorgeous. The gold kind of filigree inlay.
Oh yeah.
And I think it really hammered home to me. Like sometimes when you play a game on BGA or online, you're not grasping it all very. It's hard to grasp it all because it's you don't see it, the whole board in one space. Mm-hmm. And like as he's teaching it, I'm like, oh, those are some things I've totally missed playing it online because I had played it several times online, and I was like, okay, this is an okay game, but I'm missing some things. So the seeing it in person, playing in person, and seeing the production. One, the production value is amazing. It's a gorgeous game, but then just learning little intricacies that you miss when you're playing online really made it hit home for me. It's a fun game. Like I don't know if I'm going to go out and buy it, but if I saw it at a good price, I probably would. It's a beautiful game. The game flow works pretty quick. It's fun, snappy turns. The three of us finished the game, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. And it really sort of like I think the interactions of the various actions and how you can string moving the ship and if you move it to the right spot, triggering everything that then moves up these tracks. Made it hit a lot better. So it kind of hit that like when I play a game on BGA that I'm like meh on, I really should still look to play it physically because often it will hit different. And so it was a very enjoyable game. And I know Dan enjoyed it, that he played it another time or two that weekend. And since Dice Tower East, Dan, Nick, a few of us have been in kind of cycling games on this on BGA now that we kind of understand how to play it better and see you can learn the rules by watching the video and playing it online. Seeing it physically and playing it physically, you see more of the interaction of the action spaces. But yeah, it was fun. So that was River of Gold.
Yeah, I might have to play this one in real life, as I like to say. But I've never played the actual physical copy. I've played it online on BGA at least 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 times, and every time I've kind of had that same. It's okay. It's a game. It's not very exciting. So I don't know, maybe I'm missing some stuff, and maybe I just need to play it because everybody seems to like it that plays it, and I keep hearing good things about it. But for me, it was always, So I don't know, if somebody picks up a copy, maybe I'll have to sit down and play it sometime.
Yeah. So
that's a topic completely on its own, right? Because even Jason Dunham comments in our chat, some games are better on BGA, some games are better in real life. And as Wayne is saying, some games are only good on BGA after playing in real life, IRL.
Yeah, sure. Like I'm definitely enjoying playing River Gold much more on BGA now than I did previously. And I hate to say this, but my computer is just telling me that it's going to force me to restart this computer in 1 minute and 90 seconds.
No,
90 seconds. So, So, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic: the Holy Roman Empire. Discuss.
Go Saturday Night Live skit.
It is not giving me the option to like restart
Abort.
Later. It's like, no, you're gonna do it in 1 minute and 10, minute and 9, minute and 8. I'm like, God. So I will be right back.
So what time is it on Thursday? No, I'm sorry, Friday. This is Friday at Dice Tower. You played River of Gold. What time was that?
Midday. Like
lunchtime. Right, so you're leaving us at midday. When you get restarted and come back, we'll do hopefully post lunch. Hopefully you ate lunch.
Yeah, we ate lunch. Yeah.
And I'll update Robert on my This Week in Gaming as this computer shuts him down and he's gone.
There you go.
We've lost Wayne. It's official.
Okay. Well, they can just look at you and listen to us then.
Jason Dunham says it was not holy, it was not Roman, and it was not an empire. So discuss.
There you go. Discuss. I love those good old Dana Carvey Saturday Night Live. That was probably early 90s was all those shows. Yeah, I was a big fan. But anyway, good stuff.
Pablo42 says, I don't do BGA, but when I go to meetups, I try to play my maybe wish list games. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was my thing with this Dice Tower. I I tend to kind of make a list every year almost of games that I want to play. And I usually watch a bunch of videos. I kind of go through all the recent top 10s that the Dice Tower has done. And this year, though, even though I made a list, I did it a little different. I just kind of went through, actually, this is what I did. I actually went through the Dice Tower library. So they had it posted up online. And I went through, I think it was probably through BGG, Board Game Geek. Had the pretty recently updated list of everything that was in the Dice Tower library. And I just went through alphabetical, started at the beginning with the numbers and then went through the A's and B's. Yeah. And I didn't,
time on your hands?
I scanned fairly. Yes, I scanned fairly quickly. I didn't do an exhaustive search, but I did, actually, I only got through, I did it for 2 nights and, I probably put maybe an hour into it at the most. I only got to the S's. So I only got, a little halfway through the alphabet, but I made a list of it was probably around 50 games that just were games that these are games they may not be the newest, the hottest stuff, but just games that I want to try. Yeah, I want to get knocked out. These games, a lot of them were games that I had wanted to play for, the last 2-3 years. And I did a decent amount of knocking games out. I say decent. It's hard to say, I guess, when you make a list of 50. I'd say I got 7 or 8 of them off the list, which to me felt good because it seems like in Dice Tower's past when I've gone, or any convention that I've gone to in the past, I find a lot of just kind of playing what everybody else wants to play. And so when we have a group like we do, which is nice because we kind of have a built-in
but it also has its difficulties.
Yeah.
Which is you get a group of folks together and it's hard to disband that group. Right, so now you're going along with the ride for other games. You know what I'm saying? So okay, you've got these games on your list, but now the group is wanting to play this. Really wasn't on your list, but you don't want to also disband the group. So you kind of go along, and next thing you know, your day's pretty gone.
Yeah. There's definitely pluses and minuses, and I guess just as a general service announcement, with anybody who hasn't been to conventions before, the nice thing, obviously, is that you've got a built-in group. So, we had a chat amongst ourselves like we do every year. And so, the first person that was down there at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. every morning, they'd post up, hey, I'm here, who's available, who can play games. And we'd all be able to, I'm at table 13A, bring a game over, let's play something. So that, that part of it is really nice, just the comfort factor of knowing people, not having to find games for the most part. But then, like you say, the other part of it is I want to get all these games played. And so if I didn't have the ties to the people in our group, I could probably walk the floor and be like, oh, that's one I want to play. Let me see if I can go get in on that game. And I'd probably get more of the games that I want to play in. But then there's that, there's the time you spend walking around trying to find people to play the games that you want to play. And then there's the introductory factor there. So when you get to a table and, it's 3 people you've never met before, there's always a little bit of, at least in my mind, I'm a little socially awkward, but a little of the nervousness of, meeting these people, doing a little chit chat, trying to get myself comfortable with what's going on there at the table and to fit in with the group. So definitely pluses and minuses to doing it both ways. I'd say there's definitely big advantages, to going, even if you're by yourself or just you and a spouse or you and one friend going. And most of these conventions, it's so easy to meet people. We're all like-minded. Everybody's got their quirks and their intricacies that you got to kind of work around.
We have one big thing in common, which is the best part. Like the whole idea of the con and having that one thing in common with the 2,500 other people that are there. Like you can go to any restaurant, you jump in an elevator, in the weirdest places, you're just talking board games with random people, and that's the best part about the cons. We do have Wayne back. Yep. Wayne is with us.
Sweet.
Wayne, we are midday, so we went through the chat. Yes. We went through the chat, talked a little bit about deciding what games to play while at the con. Yeah. Now you're at midday.
Yep. And so for me, it's gaming with the Beansanddice crew, doing the hot games, but also my family. And so finally, my wife didn't have to work, so she could come enjoy the con for a while. So the afternoon was mostly gaming with my wife and my son, which is fun, right? I love it. So we did a little pitch car. My son wanted to practice and get ready for the pitch car tournament, which happens on Saturday mornings. So we did some pitch car and then had some lunch. And then we sat down as a family and played a bunch of games. And so the first one we kind of figured out all right, I was immediately, it was interesting. It was good. My wife checked me. It was good because we went to the library and we started looking at games, and I'm pointing out games that I know that they know and I know. And I'm like, well, we can play this one, And then she pointed out, well, but those are games we own. Let's play some stuff we don't own. It was like, okay, that's good. Because I was defaulting to try to making sure that they were having a good time and not just learning games and me trying to teach them games. I wanted to play things that we familiar with, but it was good because she was like, well, no, we really should just try some new things. So the first one I grabbed out was Captain Flip. It's a game that we hadn't played yet. As a family, we don't own it. So I busted that out. We did the baseboard, kind of explained that to them. We went through and played, Captain Flip a couple times, and it was a hit. They were like, they liked the idea of, you pull from this bag, you choose a tile, you have to decide, which side to either flip or not flip, and how you play it and how you score the coins. So it was a game that the whole family enjoyed, but it was like, that's not the game that how much replayability is there, right? Like, and so it was like the first game that we played, they really, that day, at least as a family, they really enjoyed it, but immediately it was like afterward, after playing it, we kind of talked and was like, hey, well, did you like that game? Is it a game that I should look at picking up? And they're like, well, it was fun, but how much replayability is there, right? Can you play this? Is this the kind of game you can play 100 times and still enjoy? And that was not necessarily, I think, where they were at. They were like, okay, this is fun. We could play this. I wouldn't mind playing this again, but this isn't the kind of game that we could play 100 times. So it didn't end up on the buy list for family games for this year for my family. They enjoyed it a lot, and they could see all the fun of it. But unless something gets added to it, I don't know if it's something that we're going to buy. So that was the first game we played. Carlos, I know you own it.
Yep.
Have you revisited it? Is this a game that's been played?
Not since St. Augustine. So
Yeah.
I think it was like a bright candle. It burned fast.
Yeah.
It was bright, but I haven't come back to it yet because there's so many other filler games that fill that spot.
That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it's a fun filler, but it doesn't. It doesn't have it doesn't grab you to like really keep you playing it on a regular basis. Like if I owned a copy, I might bust it out and play it. But it went off of my like to buy list. The next game I bought, the next game we pulled out is Wandering Towers. This was a game that was hugely popular last Dice Tower East. Everyone was playing it. We had a good fun with it. So I busted it out with 3-player. We played as a family. And it's similar to Captain Flip. Wife and kid, me, we all enjoyed it. We loved it. But then afterwards, we were like, well, that was a lot of fun. It was great learning the game. We would play it we'd play it, but it's not necessarily hitting my list of like, I need to acquire it to own, because it was like at 3 players, it was there wasn't as craziness. Like I think this game, it's funny that, I think it's best with more players. Like this is a game that really sings. And it was interesting because we picked it up and I was teaching my wife and kid, and the people across from us, a couple that had been playing games, they came over and said, hey, we've been trying to get that game for a while. When you get done, when you check it in, can I go with you and check it out, check it right back out? And I'm like, sure. And then like 2 minutes later, the people across from us that had like 6 people said the same thing. I'm like, well, let's coordinate this. You guys come first, and then after you play it, then they can play it. And I'll get back to that. But so we played it, we enjoyed it. But at 3 players, it just didn't sing as much. I remember playing this last year with, I think, a couple, the group from the Dice Tower, from the Beansanddice crew, and it was like 4, 5, 6 of us, and it was raucous.
That'll probably be 6, yeah.
Yeah, and we were like hooting and hollering, and the towers were moving so quickly and so much, and the players were moving so much. It was hard to track where you were. I think with just 3 players, it was a little easier to figure out where your pieces were. And
only 18% of respondents on BGG said 3-player is best.
Yeah,
like they all, it was 60% for 5-player and 59% recommend it at 6-player.
Yeah, so I think this
6
is
players the maximum.
Yeah, I heard 6. Yeah, I think you can play more than 6 with expansions, but I doubt it. I think it's 6 is the max. But it was fun.
Yeah, I think I played it 6 both times, and it's a good game. But it's Yeah, just to jump in there, I think 3 would definitely be lacking. Like you say, the fun of it, and I'm going to probably get slapped for saying this, but is the memory aspect. I don't like memory games, but that's what this is kind of. I mean, that's probably at least half of what the fun of this game is that you're covering up other people's pieces. They're trying to have to remember, and you're stacking these towers at different heights, and they got to remember, oh, crap, was I in the second level of this tower and the third level of this tower, or and just kind of uncovering them and being like, seeing people uncover the wrong one. It's like, oh, no, I uncovered 2 other people's pieces and not mine. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So it was a fun game. Again, my family, we all enjoyed it, but it was like, well, just for 3 of us, this is not something that really knocks it out of the park where it's like, let's go buy it. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think then the next one we played was, so in the first, when Nick and his kids showed up, Nick has a bag of games with him. And one of the games he had in his bag was Fit to Print. And he kind of said, well, let's play that. But we ended up playing Potion Explosion and Camelot. And I remember him describing the game as like you're like, it's kind of like Galaxy Trucker, where you're flipping tiles over to build a newspaper instead of a ship. Instead of a spaceship, you're building a newspaper. And like, as you fill up the newspaper, things, you have to have certain ads or certain photos next to certain articles, and you score a different way. So I thought that might be a fun game, because I know my family enjoys Galaxy Trucker. So we checked out Fit to Print, and we played it, and it was a hit. Like my wife and kid just love this game. The idea of building these newspapers over several rounds, and it's kind of like a speed round where you're flipping over tiles to build, and what you have to like, you have a little desk where you're pulling the articles and pictures and advertisements too before you actually build the paper. And then at a certain point you go, okay, I'm done grabbing what I need, and I'm now gonna build. And then you have to try to build it, and based on open spaces and scoring rounds, and there's different scoring cards. They loved it. I was horrible at it. I came in dead last. But so much so that like we now own a copy of Fit to Print because they enjoyed this game so much as a family game. My wife and kid loved it. The idea of grabbing the tiles, building the newspaper. You're building 3 different papers over. Building like a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday paper. And you have to have, and it's like one of those games where if you have the least amount of advertising, you can't win. You have to have a certain amount of advertising. You have to be you can't be the worst advertising newspaper. But it was good. So it was very Galaxy Trucker-like to me, because you're flipping over these things, trying to find combinations. But then there's an added difficulty is you're not building the ship right then and there. You're kind of grabbing all the pieces and putting them on the side to build your newspaper after you're done. And you have to kind of like visual, and that's where I'm bad at this, is visualizing, okay, here's how much space I have, and I've grabbed this many tiles that are going to cover this much space, and it's not going to, so I was bad at it. Maybe I'll be better in a second or third play, but I enjoyed it because my family enjoyed it, and they loved playing it. So we ended up buying a copy. Yeah. So Rob, you played? 2 parts of it. The real-time aspect. Yeah, I played this at Sobo, I think 2 years ago, right after it came out, 2 or 3 years ago, right after it came out. Over in Louisiana, and the 2 parts of it that I knew I wouldn't love going in is there's the real time aspect, so you're on an actual timer grabbing this stuff, which I don't actually. I like Galaxy Trucker, so that part wasn't the killer, I guess. But then there's the spatial aspect, and as you mentioned, I think if I remember, you play over 3 rounds, 3 different days, and you're building newspaper on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And each time you do it, the space where you place your tiles gets slightly larger. So your newspaper gets bigger. The Sunday edition, if I remember correctly, is the biggest one. And so you're having the spatial thing. So as Wayne said, as you're grabbing stuff and you're stacking these tiles on your quote unquote desk, once you make that decision to quit grabbing tiles and to start filling them in, not only do you have to have the right types of tiles to do what you want to do, to place the right number of ads next to the right number of articles, and then sports articles and self-help articles or whatever, the blend that you're trying to get to build your type of paper, you also have to have the right number of tiles to fill all of the spaces in your newspaper for that day. And the newspaper, like I said, the space where you place them, that rectangle gets bigger and bigger throughout the 3 different days. And so you're trying to do all this quickly. You can only use one hand, kind of like in Galaxy Trucker. You're not going at it with 2 hands. You're just using one hand to grab stuff and flip it over, and then you decide whether you want to take it or leave it out there face up for everybody else to look at and grab.
But like I say, you got this big spatial aspect. So once you stop grabbing and start placing stuff in your paper, you can't go back and grab anymore. And so if you underestimated how many you needed, then you're going to have all these blank holes in your paper, and you lose points for that. And then if I remember, you also lose points for taking too many. If there's tiles you can't place because they just won't fit on the page, then you lose points for every tile that you took that you couldn't use. And so it's this stressful, on the clock, grabbing stuff one-handed, trying to get exactly what you need, and then laying out this paper all within a certain amount of time, and trying to be the first person to do it because you get bonuses if you finish first or second or third. And then the whole spatial aspect of taking exactly as many tiles as you needed. And they're all different sizes, of course, and different shapes. And so trying to puzzle them all in and make the best use of the space. And certain tiles can go next to certain other tiles, but they can't go next to other ones. And so it's just that stress being on a clock and trying to figure all that out was definitely something I didn't love. So, but I'm glad the family liked it.
Yeah. And I think Nick was big on it, and he was talking that his kids love it and everything like that. So it's kind of why I wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
So it worked well. Like, I think, like you, I had fun playing. Don't get me wrong. I just was bad at it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll play it again.
Yeah. Agreed.
Commiserate with Pablo, because Pablo says in the chat, Pablo42, aka Jackie Robinson, I suck at fit to print, World Wonders, and Art Society. I always realize I messed up bad, like all caps, bad, halfway through.
Yeah.
So it's those spatial games. But what the folks at home, the folks in the audio, if you're listening just to the audio portion of the show and not the actual video, what you can't tell is I keep talking about your desk, right? You're putting these articles on your desk.
Yeah, it's like
well, your desk is probably the size of a business card, right? So
it's like 2 business cards.
2 business cards? Okay,
Yeah,
so I would say like 4x6, right? Tops.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
In size. So you're trying to fill this big board, this almost 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, right? But you're buying you're pulling these articles to your desk, so you can't really lay them out in a way to help you plan.
You stack them up on this little, and the desk is like a little 3-dimensional desk that you build, and then you stack. You basically, as you're pulling stuff, you put it on the desk, and it just sits there. And like, there's some
isn't that great? Like, that was thought of. Like, okay, cool, people can pull tiles, but they're just gonna make their own like rendition or draft of what the newspaper should look like on the sideboard.
In your mind.
You know what? What if we put a little table and said they all have to get stacked on this little corner? Yep. Like, so you can't do that.
You say great,
thing.
I say pain in the ass, but yeah,
it worked.
You do have to, and that's where I think where Rob and I are in agreement is our brains don't have that visualization where you can like visualize the pieces you're taking on the board and remember, okay, like if I have this picture here, I'm going to put these articles around it and this advertisement here, and that'll fit in the 4x8 whatever area or 6x2 area or whatever. So it was fun.
Yeah.
It was chaotic. It was fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. And there's different.
I'm gonna want to play this. The theme has an anthropomorphic kind of like cutesy animal thing, so it kind of reminds me of the Chicken Little, the 2000s CGI movie, kind of like that feel of a small town newspaper being created by like a turkey.
Yep.
You know? So, Wayne, I'm gonna want to try this one.
Yeah, sure. You can borrow my copy anytime. Sounds good. So. And then I think
he didn't say play with him. He said borrow his copy. Just want to be clear on that.
No, I'll play. No, Rob and I will play with you, and then this way,
you'll kill us,
you'll kill us. You'll win, and then you'll want to buy your own copy.
And they'll never play again.
Then you'll play again. Yeah, that was good. And then I think we ended up going to the pool in the afternoon, and then I think we had a lunch with Nick and his kids and my kids. We all went to the pool bar, and then that night. Played a couple of games with the Nerdy Weds, and my wife and I, the 4 of us played a bunch of games. I think I taught them Wine Cellar and Botswana and Harvest, which is the typical games that I have in my bag. They loved them. They saw the Harvest game, and they had also been to Japan in the last year, like I had, and so they had some games from Japan, and I had some games from Japan. So we were kind of playing them back and forth. So the Botswana and the Harvest game, they were like, "Oh, this game is so cute," and realized how brutal and vicious it can be, which is great because we love that Harvest game. And then Wine Cellar was a hit again. They were like, okay, I kind of like once you get the concept of, and I think Rob, I just heard of a better way of explaining the diagonal of Wine Cellar. When you're getting those cards and you're building that diagonal, it's how you aid the diagonal is the aging of the wine. So based upon how long you age or don't age the wine, this is how it'll score. So like that wine that has an 8 all the way at the beginning, that's a wine that doesn't want to be aged. So you want to have it towards the front. But the one that has 8 all the way at the end, that's a wine that really wants to be aged forever before you drink it. So that's why it's all the way at the bottom. And then in the middle is kind of the sweet spot. So all the different
spot somewhere in the middle for some of the others.
For some of the wines. Yeah. So like when you're talking about that diagonal, it's like you're building as you're buying these wines and filling the cellar, you're looking at how they're aging. And if you're good at stacking the wine for proper aging, then that's how you score that diagonal better. So I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. So I kind of like how that. Yeah. So I enjoy that. I think it's a good game. That's a really good game. I think it's getting some good reviews. And I've now played it at anything from 3 to 6. And it's really been fine. And I think it plays up to 8. So it's a good game that I definitely am enjoying. So
did you get a chance to try the solo yet? I know I've done a lot of the solo.
I have not done solo yet. Yeah, no, I need to, but yeah.
Have you figured out how to shuffle the cards on this thing? I have not. I have not figured out how to shuffle the cards.
Yeah, it's just you do a little.
I'm having to do the Tom Vassell deal out, where you deal all the cards out into little piles to kind of call it shuffled.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
okay,
but it is the one downfall to it, but Jason Dunham. I prefer having a wine cellar with boxed wine, easier to stack.
He's just going straight to the tap, mouth open.
Yeah. No, but it's a fun game. It's a fast game, so I'm enjoying it. It's definitely going to hit. That's the kind of game I will travel with a lot because it has such. Anywhere I go, it has the game group for it, right? If I'm just going out to a bar with my wife, we could play it 2-player, right? If I randomly go to like a family event, you could play anywhere from, again, 1 to 8 players, and the game's not going to play any different based on the number of players. So to me, it's a fun game. Is it amazing? No, but it hits at every player count, which is what is great. If you're going to only be able to carry a game or two with you to an event or to a vacation, or you're flying somewhere, this is a great game to travel because it plays it easily at all those different, player counts. So
I concur.
Yeah.
So then they broke out a game called Deep Sea Adventure, which was kind of fun. It's a simple little game where you're all divers on a boat and you're diving down to get. That's it right there. Deep Sea Adventure. So basically you're all divers on a submarine, and you're leaving the submarine to go dive for treasure or, buried treasure. And there's like all these tiles below the submarine, and you only have a certain amount of oxygen. So there's a card that kind of tracks the oxygen that is available for all the divers. So if you're going down and there's 3 or 4 of us playing, and you're as you go a certain level down, you're ticking down the oxygen. And so you have to try to go down as far as you can to get treasure, but then still be able to turn around and go back and get back on the boat before all the oxygen runs out. And so that's sort of the trick. It's this push-pull of, there's 4 of us going as divers, and do you want to push your luck and go even deeper to get better treasure, knowing that you may not get back out? And so you can be the chicken and
Clank the pocket game.
Yeah, it's like Clank the pocket game. Yeah, kind of. And a little bit, and it was fun. It was very fun, and it was like, you all start diving, and then somebody's going big, and they're going deep, and they don't quite make it. And if they don't make it, then all their treasure kind of just gets stacked where they kind of died. And you play the next round and go down, and it's pretty obvious that when you first start the game, there's this long string of treasure. And obviously the deeper you go, the darker the tile, the more likely it is to have treasure that's more valuable. And if you get back on the boat, you kind of bank it. And then but when you die, that diving path gets shorter as the game progresses. And I think you played 3 rounds. And so as it gets shorter and shorter and shorter, but then, it could be that like, okay, well, one more roll and I can get to that stack that somebody, had died last time and left this, stack of 2 or 3 treasures that I could, pick through. And then you get down there and everyone quickly turns around and runs back to the boat, and you're like, oh no, so it's like, this push pull, which was fun. It was, it's a very fun, quick hitting, fun as far as pocket game, small box. You can take it with you, play it anywhere, plays quick, and has this. You're kind of like talking trash. Like, are you really gonna go deeper, or are you really gonna make it back in time? And then there's like, if you turn around and you're going back up, you can try to burn the oxygen faster to catch the people that are below you before they, can get back. So it's fun, enjoyable fun little game. So
I saw some dice in there. What are the dice for?
The dice is how you dive. When you roll the dice, it gives you how far you can kind of go further down as you dive in. So yeah.
I could see this being played as kind of a themed day of gaming, right?
Yeah.
So you got your deep sea adventure, you got your fin span, you're doing some diving there, then you got some Endeavor, deep sea. So that whole diving into different layers of the ocean, all themed together.
Yeah, it's good. It was fun. It was definitely a game and it's a very small little box. Someone playing at the beach there,
It's Oink. If you ever had an Oink game, Scout.
Yep.
Insider, that Oink box is an amazing box.
Yep. So, and unless you need to open it, then just rip it open.
Oh yeah, just tear it in half.
Good luck. That cardboard is thick, boy, like thick with 2 C's.
And so then, I did miss before we actually started playing those. My family and I played River Valley Glassworks. So we sat down in the demo area, and Nick and his kids, he was teaching his kids Twinkle Twinkle, and I kind of gave them an overview of how to play it because I had played it previously, and then he gave us a quick overview. We played River Valley Glassworks. Again, another hit. Family enjoyed it. It's another game that I played on BGA where I was like, I don't get it, but now having played it in person, I'm like, oh, now I get it, and it was close. The demo area, we played the game, and then like literally right behind the demo area was that's All Play.
All Play, yeah.
An All Play game. I was like, well, what do you think? Should we buy this? And, hem and hawed a little bit. And eventually we ended up not buying it, but my wife was like, oh, this was fun. It was interesting. The scoring is interesting. And that's where it misses. Like you have the river and you have glass on the river. And when you place a glass tile out, you can then take all the glass either before or after the tile you played on, and then the river kind of flows and you keep flowing the river. It's the scoring tile that's kind of interesting because as you're filling it up, you're basically stacking the same color glass in rows or columns, and then you have like 8 or 10 rows. So as you collect glass, if you get stuck with too much of the same glass, one gets filled all the way up and then it overflows, and those extra ones are going to go into like a negative pile. But the scoring is like how many rows high you have of your highest row. And then also there's the column. So you're scoring rows and columns. So the scoring ends up being like a little bit more convoluted than the actual game. The game is very kind of like calm and peaceful playing, but then the scoring gets a little crazy with how you score the rows and columns. It kind of gets a little wonky. But it's interesting because it gives you this puzzle of how you fill your scoring board. And like, well, I don't need any more. There's a picture there where you see how purple's all the way up high. Well, you don't want to try to collect any more purple at that point. You want to get the ones surrounding it. You want to get those, the greens and the blacks and blues, whatever, and get those up higher. And then there are certain colors that are more rare than others as far as in the pull bag. So like if you get that like amberish color, that's a rare color. So it's hard to fill that out. So you don't necessarily want that to be. You want to maybe have that rare one early in your row because it's going to be harder to fill up, because then the ones later in your rows you'll fill up faster. So it's an interesting push-pull on how you fill your scoreboard. But the game itself is kind of like very laid back and relaxed, and you're basically just placing a piece of glass and pulling and then placing. So it's kind of weird that the gameplay is very kind of laid back and Hokkaido-like almost, right? It's the best way to kind of describe it. But then the scoring is pretty complex. So, and
you drop your 10-key calculator, put your green accountant hat on, and start calculating.
It a little weird, yeah. So it was
chill time's over, kids. Get your calculators out.
Right. So it's interesting that I think is the one thing that kind of threw it off a little bit. Like the gameplay and the end scoring are not so smooth But it was fun. We enjoyed it. It was a good game. It came close to being a purchase for us as a family, but ended up not being a purchase. But so River Isle Glassworks, that was a fun one.
Not a purchase. Did you get to try this one on BGA?
I did, and I didn't like it on BGA.
That's what I keep hearing. Folks not liking it on BGA.
Yeah. But then playing it in person, I'm like, oh, I get it now, or I can see it better. So playing it on BGA is a little bit more fun right now. But yeah, it was
saw it better and put it back on the shelf at the shop.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. So, but again, I have to stress it's hard though, because my collection, I did sell like 100 games in the last couple months at the various flea markets and stuff, but I still have 500 games in my game collection. So I'm at the point now where it's very game in, game out, right? And so it's like, well, does this replace anything I currently own? And it didn't. But I would.
Well, see, I heard you say you sold 100 games, so that allows me the opportunity to bring 100 games in. Is what I heard.
Back in.
No, basically all I did is I just sold all the stuff that was on my floor and like above the top of my game shelves. So everything now fits in my game shelves.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I don't understand this concept.
Yeah. English is not your first language.
River Valley Glassworks.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. My family enjoyed it. I would play it again. I'm playing it on BGA kind of regularly, so it's a fun game. I do enjoy it. It just didn't hit my collection because I have too many other games right now that are not getting played. So, and then I think the Flip 7 taught Flip 7 to them as well. And then the last game I played with the Nerdy Weds, just me and them, was Rumble Nation, which we know has now been a hit amongst the hosts of the Beans and Dice crew. My game is my copy of Rumble Nation is coming next week, which I'm going to be on vacation next week, which I'm but yeah, we played this while Rob was playing. We played this and another one that I'm about to talk. Yeah, we played this one in Arboretum. Yeah, thanks, Carlos.
I keep my copy nearby. It's right here, huggable.
It's so good,
dude. You have no idea. It's not a solo game, but you have no idea how many times I've played it solo, just to try like different thoughts and strategies.
Play.
It's so simple just to play it even solo, like doing the best you can with 3 players, and then just kind of seeing how the chips fall. That avalanche in the second phase, the war phase, is so much fun to watch.
Yep. So we played this game, again, this is one they had a copy from Japan that they had brought with us, which is like very similar to the deluxe copy.
William and Kina?
Yeah, William, the Nerdy Weds, they brought it. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have known. I would have bought this from Japan when a year ago when I was there. But such a great game. I really enjoyed this. Simple rule set, but complex in strategy. The moment we started playing it, I was like, and I said this last week when we talked about it, was like, I told William, I said, Carlos is going to like this game. And he does. So spoiler. Yeah. So,
yeah, I know I shared that story that by the time we played the first round of the game on BGA, before the second round started, I had already bought my copy. Like, okay, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Rob, what are your thoughts now that you've played it a few times?
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah. See, I've never played it on the table, but we've played I played maybe 3 times now on BGA, and yeah, this is a simple hit. I mean, from the first play, I knew this is one that would find its way in our regular rotation. So yeah, I like it a lot.
And it's competitive. Like Wayne got his win on BGA this past week. I think he scored 40, and then Rob and I tied at 32 each for the score. But since Rob placed his meeples out, all completed placing his meeples out before I did, he won the tiebreaker. So I'm the official loser in this one.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were out. Yeah, because this was the first. We had played the first time. That was our second game. The first game, I had totally realized. I think we did play a rule wrong, or maybe I misremembered the rule when I played with Kim. If you didn't have presence in the thing, if you win, you don't fall into that. You have to have. You
don't reinforce areas where you don't already have troops.
Yeah. So I can't remember if we played that really right, because it was like midnight, 1 o'clock when we were playing it. But the second game, I'm like, okay, now I really need to think about, okay, where do I have presence? And if I'm going to win here, am I going to get whatever? And how do you play the card? when do you play the card? When do you go out with your dice? And I was the first one out with dice, so I won a couple of tiebreakers that I think really is what helped me to get to the 40 points. So I think this game also it plays great on BGA, plays great async on BGA, but I think also in person, this game will play great because it's so simple. When you roll that dice, like if it's my turn and I roll those dice and Rob and Carlos are there, they're going to be like, oh, where's he going to put those? Can he put one worker there? Is he going to put one? There's going to be this, not trash talking, but trash talking, right? Like this table talk of, oh, don't you be going there. I'm going to go there next too. I mean, this whole kind of like back and forth that we had that you can have. I think in person there could, because the game's simple and everyone can see all the data. It's kind of all in the open. There's a trash talking that's going to happen when you play this game in person with some serious, like, gamers that makes it fun. So yeah. Jason Dunham, 2 copies.
Yeah, and it's
in the chat, Jason Dunham says he's got 2 copies of Rumble Nation. If anyone wants to buy his Japanese version, let him know.
The game is language independent. You really don't, other than daimyos, which have special abilities, but you can Google picture it and it tells you the rules. The game is 90% language independent. So yeah, it was fun. So we really enjoyed that. And then after we finished,
before we move to the next game, we got some comments in the chat. Jason Dunham regarding River Valley Glassworks is better with the small expansion, which gives objectives and powers, etc. So I guess there's some objectives and powers. And then
I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard that.
Aaron Clark's in here and says he's interested in River Valley Glassworks, but the deluxe edition is like $70. And I think I'd rather spend that on another game.
Yeah. And actually, Pablo42 said Deep Sea Adventure expansion die. Ooh, release helps the greedier groups. There we go.
Excellent.
We were definitely pretty greedy. I especially my wife. She was like, "I'm gonna keep going," and she drowned a bunch. So it was good.
Pablo says my game group is too greedy, so nobody has ever won this game. Deep Sea Adventure. He says we only played it 3 times though. Might try it with some other people.
Yeah, it's a good game. It was fun. It was one I would look to pick up. And so speaking of Aaron's comment on River Glassworks, that's almost all plays Problem, right? So like at their booth, they have River Valley Glassworks base game, I don't know, like $40, right? But then they have the expansion and the extra bits and whatever, and they have a bundle price for everything. And I'm like, well, but if I'm just gonna buy the game, I want everything. But then it's like $70, and it was twice. So River Valley Glassworks and Twinkle Twinkle, both games I liked, both games my family liked. I'm like, I can't just buy the base game, right? Because if I'm here, you get a deal if you buy. Twinkle Twinkle's got 2 expansions, and they have the acrylic tile for the player tokens. So all in, it's like $70. I'm like, man, that's a lot. I don't need to buy it. So it's like their bundle deals actually almost worked against them because I was unwilling to just buy the base game. I was unwilling to buy just the base game because I can see that there was expansions and extra bits, but then I wasn't willing to spend the full not full bust out, but the full price of all the expansions and bits. So it was like, I wonder if how often people like me end up not buying the base game because they don't want to buy all. They want to buy all.
That's me. That's me. The only reason I haven't bought the Delve game, what's that? Kinfire Delve.
Yeah,
is because every time I put it in my cart, then I see the playmats, and I'm like, oh, but I might as well put the playmats. And I look at the cart, and I'm like, you know what? I could buy a whole other game for this, and then I delete it out of my cart, and then I do it again in like 2 weeks. So like every 2 weeks, I'm doing the same little dance. I'm gonna grab Kinfire, but the playmats. You know what? Never mind. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'll bring it over so you can play again, and then you can get hooked on it.
Yeah,
exactly. William from Nerdy Weds is watching. He taught you Deep Sea Adventure. I'm sorry. Deep Sea Adventure. And he says our copy of Deep Sea Adventure came with both sets of dice. It was one of the games that we got in Japan.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. Yep. So, and William, I don't know if you just jumped on, but I haven't seen, but the Beansanddice crew is enamored with Rumble Nation. I have a copy on the way. Carlos has bought a copy, and we're playing it on BGA on a regular basis. So
we thank you for bringing that one to our attention.
Yeah. And then the last game of the night for me was Arboretum, which is a card game. William had the fancy copy with the crazy silver gold foil cards. And Arboretum is you have a hand of tree cards, and you can play a card down into your tableau. And what you're kind of trying to do is creating a string of the same tree, or from one tree to the same tree of a higher number, as long as it's going like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm probably not doing a very good job of describing the game because it's weird, but you basically play a tree card, play a tree down, draw a tree, or draw from someone's discard pile, and you're trying to build sets of trees. But what's interesting is, as you're building these sets of trees, like if you have like these red maple, let's say, and you have the 2 red maple and the 3 red maple, then you maybe have a 4, 5, 6 of other trees, and you have the 7 red maple. Well, you can score that at the end of the game, but you have to have the most red maple cards left in your hand at the end of the game just to be able to score it. So
wait, hold on. English is not my first language.
Yeah.
So I'm playing these red maples to the table, right?
Right.
And I want to score the red maples that are on the table, right? We're talking about the red maples that are on the table, that are no longer in my hand. These red maples.
Right.
But I need to have the most red maples in my hand.
The highest number count of them. Yeah,
highest value.
Highest value.
Yeah.
Highest value.
Ooh, that is burning my brain.
Well, wait, it gets worse. So
there's more.
Yeah, I kept the 8 red maple because it's the highest number, right? To be able to score. But if someone has the 1 red maple, the 1 red maple trumps and cancels the 8.
Oh, it's like the rubber ducky in Toy Battle.
Toy Battle.
Yeah.
Look at the comment from James Odak in here.
Yeah.
James Odak says that Arboretum game hurt my head.
Right.
This is the guy that will play every game with all the expansions all at the same time, no problem.
It's a 4.999 repeating weight out of 5. Yeah.
All right, so tell me why Arboretum is worth playing.
I don't know. It's very pretty, right? You have some fancy versions. It was Jim, it was me, and it was the Nerdy Weds, and it was a fun game. And it took me a while to grasp it. And I've even since played it on BGA once or twice and been like, God, this game is hard. Like, because you have to build your tableau out to be able to score the trees, and you're building out the order. But then you have to consciously figure out, like, well, I got to keep a couple of here to like be able to score it, but I can't keep the 8 unless I can see the 1, because if the 1's out, that's great, but if the 1's not out, someone's got the 1 and they're going to trump my 8. So that means I got to have the 7 or the 6 or the 5 and 4. So this 5 and 4 add to a 9, which is more. It was interesting. I don't know if I liked it, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I own it. I picked it up at one of our Beansanddice game exchanges somewhere along the years. I don't know if it was one of the holiday ones or whatever, but I got the nice fancy version also that I had picked up, and I played it once with Nick taught it to me a couple years ago, and I hadn't played it in a while, so I had to relearn it, and I taught it to my 2 older kids, say about a year, maybe 2 years ago, and they played it one time, and they're like, nope, we're never playing this again. It's way too complicated. Trying to figure this out and the scoring and all that, and so I like it. It is really complicated though for a little card game. So if you want your heavy Euro in a little card game, this one's really thank you.
Now, Robert, you've got both of these at your home, but there's a comment in here from Pablo42 says this is a photosynthesis. This and photosynthesis are cutthroat. Who would have known trees are so violent? Then we got a few more comments in here about photosynthesis being a very cutthroat game. Not enjoying it after a few plays by Chris. William from Nerdywed says he loves photosynthesis. So you own both these games, and your thoughts on photosynthesis and Arboretum being cutthroat?
I agree. Both of them definitely are. Both of these games, you're really trying to mess with other people. Photosynthesis, you're trying to constantly grow your trees to block the sunlight from other people's trees so they can't score points, and you can get all the points. And then this one, like Wayne did a pretty good job of explaining it there, that you're trying to lay these out in runs, and so you're thinking about having only certain cards can go next to certain cards, and you have to be, once you go in a row or a column, they have to be ascending or descending order. And so you're trying to think about keeping your order straight. You're trying to get certain trees in groups where the runs are next to each other so you can actually score the points. And then it's almost an afterthought at the end of the game. It seems like it's the last third of the game. I'm always like, oh, crap, hold on. I'm not even going to score this stuff unless I have, the highest total value of these left in my hand. So, crap, I better draw some of these or pick some of these up. But one of the cool things is, though, everybody has a little discard pile in front of them. So as you draw a card and discard a card or play a card and discard a card, you can draw either blind off the top of the deck, or you can draw the top face-up card from anyone's discard pile in front of them. And so there's a lot of, I'm going to grab this card over here, but then I'm going to discard it a couple of rounds later. Somebody else grabs it and it's like, oh, now they're going for the thing that I thought I might go for. And so there's a lot of messing with each other and check and counter check and balance. And yeah, it's pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, I want to say there's maybe 10 suits or 10 different trees, and the end game scoring, you go tree by tree and go, okay, who has a run of this tree? Okay, you've got the run, but do you have the biggest total? Nope. Okay, doesn't score. Next tree. Carlos, you got the biggest run. Do you have the biggest total? Nope. Next tree. And so I think in the game that Jim and the Nerdy was and I played, of the 10 trees, maybe 2 got scored because everyone trumped everyone else, and I got the 1, and then you have the 8, and it was like, oh God, really, it was. Brutal.
So it's just a lot of negative feelings.
It was very negative. Beautiful little trees, but like, screw you. Like, it was bad. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was fun.
We can try it sometime. I own it. Like I said, we can pull it out and try it sometime. It's, I think it's worth playing. It's worth trying, but I can see a lot of people not liking it.
I see it like at a Target, and I'm like, oh, I can grab this. It looks pretty, and I guess I'm glad I haven't.
Yeah, it's rough.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, like Rob said, like he owns a copy. I'll gladly play it again, but I'm not buying it. That's the theme of the night. I'll play all these games, but I don't know if I'm buying them. So that ends.
Not buying too many of them.
Yeah, that ends the Friday. We're now through 3 of the 5 days of Dice Tower East.
3 of the 5 days. We're over halfway. Woo!
So. Maybe we should look into doing a B-side episode, right? So like in between now and Thursday.
Yeah,
drop a B-side episode to kind of rush through these days, because we're going to get into August here shortly. Robert, enjoy your trip in DC, brother. Thank you for popping in to give us your day 3 Dice Tower East. We're going to get you off this phone line and open it up for the folks at home.
Considering that we're an hour.
Yeah, hopefully get some calls. Yep. Exactly.
Be safe, Rob.
Hopefully get a few calls. Yep. See you. Good night.
Bye.
See you, Rob. Yeah.
I'm glad he had time to call in.
Yeah.
But that does open up the phone lines. 813-618-7099 is the number. I don't think that officially counts as a call. So I'm not going to put it on the board.
It's a count.
Is it? He called in?
He called in.
It was on the phone.
He was on the phone. It's a call. Count it. Mark it up. Championship.
Put it on the board. 1 call.
Yeah, 1 call.
All right, so Twig-wise, for me this past week in gaming, my copy of Alibis arrived from All Play. You guys keep talking about All Play so much that
they got some good games, man.
I'm looking forward to. All I've done so far is set this one up on the table, so I was able to actually get it kind of set up on the table and kind of looked at and kind of read the rules and feel for how it plays. But I have not been able to play it yet. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
This is William.
Hey, William, Nerdy Weds.
How you guys doing?
I am well.
Awesome. Yeah, we were sitting here watching the coverage of the Wayne's blow-by-blow account of the games we played together. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not even through Saturday. We're through Friday at this point. So.
What's that?
We only got through Friday of Dice Tower.
And we've been doing this for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of games. So,
yeah. Rumble Nation's definitely on the list of our favorite games we played there. It was the first time we got to play it. We have the copy of it we brought from Japan, but that was the first time we got to actually sit down and play it was there at Dice Tower. It was fun learning the rules. I had to Google them.
Now, you purchased it up in Japan, so you purchased it while you were in Japan. What made you pull that trigger on that one?
So, funny story. Keen and I, when we go to other countries, we try to go to board game stores in those countries. Like I went to Norway and just after Japan and went to the board game store there as well. But while we were in Japan, we had a list of criteria. The games must be small and language independent, basically. So Kina promptly violated that rule by picking up Rumble Nation, which was not a small game, but the box was so beautiful. Now, the Japanese version only says Deluxe. It doesn't say Rumble Nation underneath the kanji. It's on the front of the box, but other than that, it looks exactly the same as the English version.
Mm-hmm.
The box was so beautiful, and we just couldn't put it back down on the shelf, so we ended up buying it.
I don't know. I didn't find the box like it's a beautiful piece of art. It's like a watercolor of a White Castle on a hilltop. It's an orange, rose pink kind of a sun setting over it, and you got some samurai. It really didn't stand out to me. I don't think I would have really given this a second look until Wayne put me on to the BGA of it. But yeah, I'm. Does yours come with the daimios?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's the deluxe version.
That I think is
it's
the
all
cool
in Japanese.
part.
Yeah, we had we didn't play with the special daimyo power cards, and the difference is like between your version and William's version is his version is fully Japanese, so you have to like take a photo of Google Photos to translate the card. But other than that, it's basically the same game. So
yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, I think the fact that that's on BGA now and people are starting to talk about it, I think it's going to hit some popularity soon. So.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gaining popularity. We already saw that. We went to a board game store over in Melbourne when I picked up my new Darth Vader helmet, and they have a copy of it there at the game store there. So
What's funny is
cool.
Miniature Market had it, and it was like less than $30. And then as soon as they started like really selling, the price went up to over 40. So it's like, I guess they didn't know what they had until people started buying it quickly, and they just increased the price.
Yeah, I mean, it like Kina told me when we were watching you guys talking about it. She's like, it's a area control game that I actually like, and she was speaking for herself. Because she does not like area control games. But that one has such an interesting mechanic to it that it's easy. You don't have to think about things until you realize, oh crap, if I don't put something there, I'm going to lose that spot. And the dice are not cooperating with you. It leads to some interesting
I think my wife said similar things about it. Because it plays so fast, right? The play time is quick, and then there's that dice mechanism of deciding, kind of limiting your choices on where to go. She's enjoyed it as well. She's been willing to play every time I've asked.
It eliminates some of the analysis paralysis that a lot of games of that style can have.
But it also doesn't. It doesn't eliminate choice, right? So there's that.
No, it does not.
There's that whole kind of like. Castles of Burgundy / Can't Stop / Mountain Goats feeling of how do I chop up these dice in order to do the best thing that I think will happen now.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're limited to those choices. It's not a smorgasbord of choice. So somebody with really bad analysis paralysis can just play it.
And what I think I keep forgetting myself is like you make that die roll and you go, oh man, I can't slice this how I want. You get the re-roll. I keep forgetting that you could re-roll once, like to like see what you get better, which I like too because
will it be better? Because
will it be better?
I might just take this mediocre.
Right. Yeah, which I like. So
there's a re-roll.
Yeah, apparently that's.
I guess Wayne, you need to go back and teach.
Yeah. Apparently, like once
in my defense,
yeah, it's in Japanese, so we're trying to figure out how.
It's in Japanese.
Yeah. So apparently, after your first roll, once you roll the dice, you can pick them up and roll them again.
You get a free reroll throw.
Oh, okay,
but you cannot pick a tactic card once you've chucked the dice once. Once you've chucked the dice once, you're committed to placing, and then your units will reinforce only to areas where you already have units.
You have somebody.
Yep.
Yep.
Those are some of the tricky rules that I found in the game.
Just real quick, so I can let you guys get other people calling in. Cover my dice tower. River of Gold was one of my favorites. I bought a copy of it while I was there. And played the snot out of it. I even bought a really awesome 3D printed organizer for it. So it's pretty fun. Merchants and Marauders was a big hit for me as well. And I went and got at that game store I was talking about in Melbourne. They had a used copy there for $35.
I'm not surprised.
And Kina has been loving it. We've played it a couple times now here at the house, which is really cool.
Wayne, have you had a chance to play Merchants and Marauders before?
Years ago?
It is like Firefly. It's like the pick up and deliver. Do you want to be a good guy? Do you want to be a bad guy? It's all that same fun, just in the pirate world. It's one of the best pirate games, but man, it can sometimes go long, and especially when somebody takes a port action. Like, all right, y'all go get some refills, use the bathroom, come back because I got to do my port action. I got to go talk to all these people, do some gambling, buy some equipment, buy some soldiers, check out the rumors. But it's a good game. It's a very good game.
Well, if somebody's ending their turn with the port actions, everybody else can just proceed because the port actions don't have effects on other players. But other than that, yeah, it can get long. Other game was Raiders of the North Sea. I picked up a copy of that, and Dice Tower picked up the Kickstarter copy.
Mm-hmm.
Got a really good price on that. It was like $60 or something like that. Looked online, it was like $150 or some craziness.
The fancy one that has all the expansions in the bigger box, and
Yep.
That's a good one. That's my.
I've been loving the hell out of it.
Yeah, of the Shem Phillips, all the various trilogies, I like Raiders of the North Sea is one of my favorite of all of them. Still, of all of the, I don't know, I haven't played as many as Rob probably, but I really do enjoy Raiders. Raiders of the North Sea to me is very similar to Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah. And then played Firefly with Rob. Wayne, you were there for that, right? You played Firefly with me, right?
Yeah,
you just haven't got to it yet.
It was Jim, myself, and my wife, and you, and you. So it was the four, and Rob. So yeah, that's five of us. Yeah, that's Saturday. That was Saturday night. So that's a spoiler for Saturday night. Yeah.
Well, sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, Firefly. The big fancy.
It was a great con.
Kickstarter version of Firefly. We had to push together like 4 tables to fit everything on the table, and then Tom came by and rolled his eyes and said, "Why does the money have to be like so big? Because the money in the game is literally like 5 by 8 in size. The sheets of the paper money." And it was good. So yeah, Tom made fun of us for playing the giant Firefly games. Like, you guys are going to be there forever. But we played one of the smaller, sort of faster intro scenarios to kind of get everyone's feet wet. So
yeah,
it's good.
Just I love that game. Obviously, I got the 10th anniversary edition of it. So yeah, put the big money that Tom thinks is ridiculous. But yeah, I really had a great time this Dice Tower. Got to spend a lot more time with you and Rob. Mm-hmm. Really enjoyed that, and got to play a lot of great games. Look forward to seeing you guys again and playing more games.
Yeah, and he joined us for a couple party games. We played a big like 10-person game of Green Team Wins, which was fun.
Yeah.
Tampa Comic Con is coming up here. Are you and Kina going to be attending? Will there be videos on your channel?
When is Tampa Comic Con?
I don't have the exact date.
Is it next weekend?
I know it's coming up soon.
Well, we have gone to that in the past. There are some videos we have in the works to go up on the channel.
Yes, August 1st to the 3rd.
One of them was with August which?
August 1st to the 3rd, so 2 weeks.
1st to the 3rd? Okay. I don't see why we wouldn't if we, maybe for a day. we did an interview with a prop designer named Portamac for Portamac Prop Studios. His name's Manny. And he did my Darth Vader helmet and belt and chest box that I've got for my Darth Vader costume. So we got that coming up. Is a video going up on the channel and a bunch of other stuff that we've recorded. We just haven't posted.
Editing is the part I hate the most about what we do here with content creation. That's why I just do live and then let people call in and provide the content for me. So thank you for doing that.
Right.
William, where can folks find your channel at home?
Go to the Nerdy Weds on YouTube.
There you go, folks.
The Nerdy Weds. And we're there, and we're hoping to get some more content up and do some live streams here coming up. We have the cruise coming up in October. We pretty much closed down that, but if anybody's still interested, they can contact us through our Facebook, which is the Nerdy Weds. And just we're gonna have a good time and put up some more content.
Beautiful. Best wishes to your better half. Thank you so much for teaching.
Here giving me dirty looks.
Thank you for teaching Wayne and Rob so many fun games at Dice Tower East, especially Rumble Nation. Much appreciation from me because I think it's going to be, it'll very soon be in my top 10 for the year.
Yeah, it's definitely my top 10 for the year so far.
I'm going to keep playing. I'll see how high it rises when I do my update in August. Have a good night, William.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
Yep.
That's our buddy from the Nerdy Weds.
Yes, yeah. Looking at there's some decent celebrities at Tampa Comic Con this year.
Yeah, it's not a slack show.
It's big. Yeah, it's just...
Now it used to have a stronger gaming library. I remember Armada at one point, if I remember correctly. Armada
used to
contributed or ran it at one point.
Yeah.
So because I remember seeing them there. One of the years that I took the kids.
Yeah, maybe I head down Sunday or something. I don't know. See if my kid goes down. Yeah.
I picked up Alibis in the chat. Looks like Jason. I think it was Jason that shared my enthusiasm for Alibis. He says Alibis. Woohoo! I kind of went through the words and set them up in the rule set to kind of get an idea. How would I do this? How would I combine two words to give one clue? And my brain froze. So I was like, oh, this is gonna suck. I'm going to be bad at this. But it's not a win-lose game. It's like a win-more game. In other words, depending on how many tokens you're able to get rid of, and you get rid of tokens whenever you make the right connections, right? Then you look at how many you did at the end of the game, and it'll tell you how good you did on a scale. So it's like, okay, so it's not like we win or we lose. It's not like you pick the assassin, the game is over kind of a deal. It's a cooperative game. Let's just see how many points we can get together. So I feel like that's a little bit less stress on me. I'm looking forward to getting that to the table. What I did table a lot of, and I don't know what triggered it, bro. I don't know if I saw the 5.0 Berkey's Tabletopper Kickstarter, and I think he had some playmats for Baseball Highlights 2045 in there, because I guess that's one of the new playmats you can buy.
And,
a whole
he's a huge
table
fan
size.
of that game, so that,
I played with him, Berkey from Tabletoppers, Game Toppers. I played against him in Baseball Highlights 2045. He complimented me on my skills. He is a champion too. He's a champion. He said I put up a really good fight. But man, it got me wanting to play, but I had no one to play with. So I went and found the rules for solo play, and I think I've knocked out 4 or 5 games solo of Baseball Highlights 2045. Slowly adding in all the expansion cards into the deck. So the deck of free agents, you start off with the basic free agents, and as you buy expansions, you add all different types of abilities. So I'm slowly adding those extra rules in and kind of seeing how they play in the game. Really enjoying it. It's Baseball Highlights 2045. I have 2 copies of the base set, and I think 3 copies of the spring training set, and just about every expansion. I've got 4 different play mats because it's a tournament style game too, so you can play multiple players in a tournament setting. I can't recommend it anymore. Baseball Highlights 2045.
Can't recommend it anymore, really?
I don't know. I could recommend it more.
Yeah,
English is not my first language. I recommend it a lot.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
What's your tweet?
It was interesting. We went to a wine store here in Tampa this weekend. They had this like oyster event. My kid loves oysters. 10-year-old loves eating oysters.
Really?
Yeah, it's expensive as hell.
My kid likes McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Yeah. No, he likes those too. Trust me. But he's a bougie child. He likes the oysters. So we went down there as our friend runs the kind of wine store. So I brought a bunch of small games. We played Can't Stop. We played Wine Cellar in the wine store. A bunch of other I brought a couple of the kids table board games like Capybaras and which is running a cafe for capybaras and stuff. So played a couple of the small games there and then just mostly BGA. This is busy time of year for me. I work in higher education, so getting ready to start the school year. So doing a lot of that stuff and way overbooked my kid for camps this summer between soccer and he's doing summer basketball and summer soccer and camps and training. And so, yeah, been running around crazy. So it was good to get a couple of small games in with the family and then vacation next week. Figuring out what games to pack and bring on vacation will be interesting. So I'm not going to be on the show next week. Heads up.
That's right.
Be on vacation, taking a cruise, doing a little cruise action. So it'll be fun, but it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I'm going to, I did play Tiny Epic. Which one was it? I own so many of them. Tiny Epic.
Danny Anderton owns them all now.
My brain, I know. I own them all. Tiny Epic Pirates. So I
like that one. That's the
Really?
Rondell one.
It didn't. I was like,
It didn't. But that was also one of my first Rondell games that I played.
yeah.
So Tiny Epic Pirates was one of the first Rondell games I played. I really liked that mechanism. Then I got introduced to Crusaders, and that became my favorite Rondell game. What did you like about Tiny Epic Pirates?
It just and I'll say this: solo. I played it solo, so I set it up, and I tell you what, it's the first time I used the Dized tutorials.
I haven't done that yet.
Yes, awesome.
Really?
Really good.
What device did you use?
I used my laptop, but you can use an iPad.
Right. I'm not sure which. Do I download an app? Do I have to go to a mobile site?
Go right to their website. It loaded. And so they have all the Tiny Epic games. And I'm like, well, I barely played any of them, own them all. So let's start doing them. So I brought up Dized. Sorry, Jason Dunham. I also work in higher education. My summer course has just ended. So yesterday was my first day of summer break. Wants to be VIP. I am an associate. Yeah. So I am an associate vice president. Yes. At the school I work at. Yes. Yeah, I don't teach anymore. I administrate. But no, so yeah, the Dice tutorial was actually really cool because so I kind of opened up the box, I opened up the Dice tutorial, I said I'm gonna play Tiny Epic Pirates, and it was voiced, and it had the visuals of the game, and it's like, how many players do you want to play solo? And it's like, oh, great, you're gonna play solo. Here's the setup, and it would talk through. Take out the board and do this and set this up. And it really just walked you through every setup of the game and then taught you the rules and how the rondel works and says, choose this action and you blah, blah, blah. So it was really cool. I actually really recommend it actually for if there's a dice tutorial for it, it's really pretty cool. Then I just played the rest of the game out, played the first couple of turns and they said, okay, well, now that you play the first turn, you know all the rules, you're good to go. Keep going from there. And the solo, I think, didn't grab me. It was like, So, yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to Tiny Epic solos, I'm going to have to recommend, if you haven't yet, Tiny Epic Dinos. I think Tiny Epic Dinos has been the best Tiny Epic solo I've played to date.
Nice.
Have you done that one yet?
Nope, it's on the list. I think I've done the zombies solo, and I liked it. It was okay. And then the pirates. So
I've got the playmat for both of them, pirates and dinos. So when you're ready to try dinos, scoop up the playmat. It really does help with organization. But it has a deck of cards that runs the bot or the other rancher that is trying to compete with you for creation of dinos. It's very difficult. It's a toughie. But not impossible. But it to me so far has been the best solo game I've played of anything Tiny Epic.
Yeah, I was hoping that Pirates would be fun because I'm going on a cruise next week. So I'm like, well, I'll take Pirates with me, and that may be a game I can either play solo or play with people. But I don't know.
Captain Flip would be better than that one. I think
Captain Flip would be better,
but it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. But no, it was good. So I enjoyed it. It's just I need to play it with more than solo before I make a decision. I think my goal, maybe not for the rest of this year, but in the near future, is to play all the Tiny Epics and then really make a decision. Do I like it or not? And if I don't like it, just get rid of it, because I own them all and I'm on this trek of like, do I keep buying them if they come out with another one? And I really need to just stop and just play the ones I have and make a decision. I know I love Tiny Epic Quest, Tiny Epic Galaxies, Tiny Epic Western. I haven't played it really any of the others. Well, I played Pirates now solo, but I need to get through the rest of them. So,
yeah, Pablo agrees. Tiny Epic Quest because of the attachable meeple weapons.
It's.
I think that was one of the funnest part. So you got like Tiny Epic mechs, like it took it to an even greater level where you got these mechs that you're attaching to the meeples and then the weapons.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Jason Dunham says, come sail away. You will not regret it. That's I think Dice Tower, the guy that's been doing the Friday learn to play games.
Mm-hmm.
The Latino guy, Saul. I'm trying to remember his name. Soul. But anyway, he did a great video on come sail away and how to play. I think Jason's right. That'll fit your theme. How to pack a ship with luggage and people and do it right.
Yep. Tiny Epic
James Odak has to chime in.
Yep.
Every time Tiny Epic is brought up, James comes in with Jim Odak comes in with Tiny Epic Western is still my fave.
It's number 2. I think I like Galaxies better than Western, but I really like Western. I love the bullet dice. They were like the first game to really come up with like the funky shaped dice where they had the
themed dice.
The themed dice. Yeah, it was good. So,
Anything else on the twig?
That's it. That's it for this week. Yeah.
Millers are popping in.
Well,
I like Tiny Epic Dinos. I agree. I think it's one of my favorites. Originally, I would have said Tiny Epic Galaxies would have been my favorite Tiny Epic game, but once I learned the solo for Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, I think it shot to the top of my list of Tiny Epics.
Yeah, I think I need to play. I think I've set up Dinosaurs, but I haven't played it. That'll be the next one. Maybe I do a Dized tutorial on it and give that a shot.
Scoop up the playmat. It really helps organize everything.
That's another problem. Is like you buy the game, then you get the little deluxe thing, and then you buy the mat, and it's like $70 later. It's like I have this tiny
I see no
box.
problem here. That is a feature, not a bug.
Sure.
Let's jump into some news articles real quick as we wrap up this show. Some of the news articles that I saw that I wanted to highlight that I saw and put into the Discord. There's an indie web store that wants to help you make board games and actually sell them. It was on a wargamer.com website. It's an article about Board Wreckers Marketplace. That's BORED Wreckers, WRECKERS Marketplace. And it's a company that decided to start last month marketplace because they help you print games, but now they're going to put out a marketplace to help you market those games and sell those games. And I was going through the article. There's a conversation with the creator about it, and it seems like an awesome idea. I bring it up because of the folks in here that tend to be creators of games, like publishers and stuff. This might be a great opportunity for you to get one of your games created and sold. So it's an article from wargamer.com.
Nice.
Another article on wargamer.com that I wanted to highlight because I brought it up last week. D&D is coming out with a new base set. Their new Heroes base set, which is going to be more like a board game than it is like a D&D, like the D&D sets of yore, the starter sets of yore. This one's going to have cards and tokens for everything. Well, apparently they're coming out with a Stranger Things. Wayne, you just bought the Stranger Things. There's going to be a new Stranger Things box set, but it's going to be in the vein of this new style, which means every monster is a token, every item is a card, right? So it's going to be cards and tokens and maps to really help folks. Yes, welcome to the Hellfire Club. It's going to be able to help get your folks into D&D with a more board game feel. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah. This, I was like, oh, man, there's a trailer for it, actually. Let me see if I can find it.
It's supposed to come out like the week before the are we in season 5?
Yeah.
Of Stranger Things. So the week before season 5 drops, this product will drop from Wizards of the Coast.
Yep. What's crazy is I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, and the reason why I bought and actually you can see it, it's like right there. There it is.
Yep, there it is facing out in the red box.
Yep, the red box. My kid, we finally let him watch Stranger Things, and him and his friends have all watched it. They love it. They ask me daily to run D&D for them. And can we play D&D? Can we play D&D? And then I'm like, oh man, all right, fine. So I'm actually going to take the books from it on the cruise with me and read through it so that I can run it when we get back.
That'd be great reading too. The one downside that folks had on the reviews of the copy that you and I have was that it's only one adventure. So in this updated version, there's going to be, I think, like 5 adventures or something crazy like that.
Yep.
Oh, I think we got a call.
All right.
Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Carlos and Wayne. It's Chris from Texas. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Pop and Tot in the house.
Yeah. It's nice. And I tried to catch up a little bit on the show when I could. Wayne, I got to hear that you played, let's see, Duel for Middle Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got to hear your feedback on that. I just played that last week with my son for, I think it was our 3rd time we played it now, and it's just great. I just love that game. It's a great 2-player.
Hey, Chris, I was just thinking about you in this next article I was going to highlight as we were running through the news. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah.
The expansion for In the Footsteps of Darwin, correspondence expansion review. A review dropped on BoardGameQuest.com. BoardGameQuest.com did a review of it. Have you seen anything yet on this expansion?
No, I haven't. I mean, I pre-ordered it previously when you had dropped it in the Discord channel.
You didn't even look.
I don't know
he
when
just
exactly
pre-ordered.
When it comes out. Yeah, when you put it in Discord, you gave me a DM and you sent it to me, and I pre-ordered it that day.
This one looks really interesting, Wayne, because it adds a sideboard to In the Footsteps of Darwin. So now instead of Darwin being moved around from player to player and being worth an extra point at the end of the game if you control Darwin, right? He now moves on a rondelle on this board, providing you benefits that you get to take. So every time you take a tile that has the crown icon, you used to be able to just get Darwin's head in front of you. Now his little head rotates on this rondelle, giving you benefits. So that's interesting. But then they add this correspondence mechanism, which is an envelope symbol, and you're going to collect these envelope tokens, which then you can spend to buy more tiles to put on your board. And then thirdly, the biggest thing that I saw was the people, all the people that are in the tiles. Remember, the tiles, it can be animals or people. All the people now are moved to the sideboard. So the main board around the beagle, where the beagle is searching, is all just animals.
All just animals, okay.
And then all the people are on the sideboard, so you have more animals to be able to really fill in what you need on there. Nice. For all those reasons, I'm with Chris on this one. This feels like a must buy.
Yeah, especially if you played the game like 5 times or more. I mean, or even 10 times. And I think I've played the game at least 10 times. And just because it can become samey after a while when you played it, that many times.
Cool.
That was my news article that I was thinking about you, Chris. You called in. Show's yours. What's up?
Great. Well, I can talk about some twigs here. Introduced my son to Raiders of the North Sea over the app. We played it 2 times this week. Yeah, the app is just it's what Dire Wolf. They do an amazing job. So yeah, we played that a couple times. He really liked it. I beat him the first game, and he actually beat me the second game. So he did a good job, learning the strategy. And then I said, well, if you like that, we should play the physical copy and play it with an expansion. And so then I set up the expansion, the full game with the player mat. Looks beautiful on the table. We started that today, and we played, several rounds of that. We didn't finish it because it was before we were going to practice tonight, music practice and stuff. So we played, I think, maybe 10 rounds, 10 turns each, and then stopped it, and then we're just going to finish it tomorrow. But he really likes it. Boy, it looks pretty. I put in the Discord channel recent plays. I put a picture of the full game with the play mat, and man, it looks good. That art by D'Amico with the shades of blue they put on the water, like just the ocean. There's different shades of blue on it. I just forgot how beautiful that play mat is because I haven't played it in a while. I played the app version a bunch, but it's been a few years since I've actually gotten out and played it on the table with that play mat. So anyway, he's become a big fan of it. It's one of his favorite games now. And so yeah. So that's one game. And then I think I posted previously in Discord about Deliverance. We played our first full game of Deliverance together. Had a blast with that. I'll say about Deliverance that it's very satisfying the way the level up system works. You get, 3 experience points in a 2-player game. You can level up your character at the end of the round. And you can either take Heavenly Treasure cards, which beef up your stats and beef up your damage. You get special abilities with these cool weapons and armor and all this stuff. It's really cool. And you can have up to 5 of those. Or you can get a trait, and a trait beefs up your angel as well. And you can have up to 3 traits. You can have up to 5 Heavenly Treasures, up to 3 traits. And so you're just constantly getting stronger and stronger throughout the game. And it's just, and then you have several abilities. You have like 5 abilities to choose from. I think the last one on all of them is just to pray, which I think is really cool for the theme. You can pray as an action, and prayer is very strong. Like you get a prayer card, and then if you roll the dice and you get a 7 or higher, you get a special, thing happens where you can remove a curse card. You can cast it down and take it out because curses are really messed up. They do a lot of bad stuff to you, these cards. It's called the darkness track. And so it's just really satisfying. And they're all unique angels. They have a different play style. They have different HP. Then some of the different Heavenly Treasures will increase your maximum HP. And so every angel feels unique. I've looked through a bunch of the abilities. We only played, obviously, 2 different angels, but when you read the different abilities, they're all unique. They all have different movements. Some of them are faster than others. Some of them do more damage with certain types of attacks. There's several different types of attacks. And then those Heavenly Treasures will level up your stats, which will increase those attacks. And so very satisfying level up system. I'd say one of the best level up systems I have personally played in a board game. And then I like the darkness track where these cards are coming out and there's these saints that are oppressed, and you have to go basically to them, and you have to flip them from the oppressed side to the blessed side. And then that will mitigate the number of darkness cards that you reveal at the end of the round. It's generally 1 per angel. But then every oppressed saint, you flip another one. And so it gets really nasty because you can have like 4 oppressed saints out there, and then you got 2 angels with like 6. But it's really cool. They come face down initially, and there's like, I think, 5 slots for them. And then you flip them from left to right as you have to reveal more cards, at the end of the round. You keep flipping them, and all these bad things happen. Some of them are persistent effects. Some of them are one-time effects. And then you do all that, defeat all the demons, and then like the boss comes out after that, and you kind of reset everything, and you get ready for the boss. You get more tiles and expands the map. Then more demons come out with the boss, and then you have to deal with him. And it's just a really cool thematic game. I've really enjoyed it. So my son likes it too. Great components as well, and great artwork.
Thank you for that. I've yet to play my copy. Thanks to Dan, our friend from your turn, I was able to get the upgraded minis, the upgraded coins, the upgraded neoprene mat. So he really helped me out with acquiring all the bits to get this thing. But now I just need to get to the playable. I know James Odak or Jim Odak in the chat has shared with me before that he enjoys this one solo. Like he really likes it as solo as well.
Oh, yeah, totally. I could see that being, I'd say 1 or 2 players I think would be ideal. Yeah.
Thanks for that twig
Totally.
on Deliverance. I'm glad to hear other folks are loving it.
Yeah, and the minis are, I don't know. For me personally, I think they're the best minis that I've ever gotten a board game straight out of the box because they're all washed. They look just beautiful. They really pop on the table. So unpainted, they look great.
It's kind of like
Nice.
the sun drop wash that they had that what Awaken Realms does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, the same thing.
Very cool.
It's really nice. We played Stone Spine Architects online, Carlos. We did that on BGA. And that was a close game. You were tearing it up, Carlos.
I was so upset.
You're going to beat me.
I'm like, because in Stone Spire Architects, there's different objective cards, and a lot of them some of them, I'll say, not a lot, tend to do with the path, what kind of items you have on the path. And in this one, I was able to get cards that had to do with the path and different monsters on those path. And I was just like buying the tokens that I needed to fill up the gelatinous cubes and the slimes, the oozes, and the traps. I'm like, I got everything I need on this path. There's no way I'm going to lose. And then end of the game comes out. Where's my score? I got it here.
You had 102, I think.
It was probably one of my highest scoring games.
Which is a great
103
score.
to
103.
Chris's 105 to Rob's
2
89.
points. Yeah.
I thought I was going to have a win.
Yeah, it was very close. I thought you did too. Well done.
Good game. Thank you, sir. Now, hey, Carson City, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like, I'm kind of pushing buttons and kind of figuring out how does this thing look? That one, I'm not putting as much effort.
I think I declined the invite to that game because that was it. I had just created 100 games.
Oh no!
I was in a. I got the I guess I'd never got it before. It was like you're playing 100 games simultaneously. It's like a badge on VGA. It like popped up, and then
it's called idiot.
No, well maybe, but yeah. But and then like right after that, it's like I get this invite for Carson City. I'm like, I've never played this game before, and I'm already in 100 other games. I'm just gonna decline this one for now.
Well, see, you
totally understandable.
But so Chris caught me at a good time. Because you had just did that to me with Rumble Nation. And I'm like, I'm going to decline this. I haven't played it yet. I don't want to play something I don't know. But then we played it, and I fell in love. So here comes this invite from Chris. I'm like, I've never played this game. Last time I did this, it worked out well. And then we started getting in it. I'm like, I should have declined this game. I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's a bit heavy. It's mainly that board, the map where you're placing the buildings out. The actions aren't too confusing. They're pretty straightforward, but it's that whole board. That's what makes it complicated.
Yes, there's a lot going on that board, and I'm not sure if I'm trying to get 3 in a row, 4 in a row. What am I doing here?
Well, every building scores differently, so you have to read each one and see how they score, and then you try to build around it so that you score the most points. Some of them score with nothing around it. Some of them score with houses around it.
Okay.
And some score with other things. It's just, and you got to build a road out to your building if it requires a road. Some of them will have a requirement to have a road built out to.
So kind of like between two castles, each building is going to score based on what's around it. Look at each building to figure out how best to set up this Carson City. Meanwhile, I'm just dropping cowboy meeples. I'm like, what's wrong with dropping cowboy meeples? I'm just going to put them here. Salt Bay.
Well, and I haven't played the game in a long time, but I just wanted to see how the BGA implementation worked. And so I just like, hey, I'll just try it. I know Rob would like it. And so I was like, I'm going to invite Rob, and then maybe I'll get Carlos in on it or Wayne. So I think I invited Wayne first, and then he was, he, like you said, he had 100 games going on. So then I just said, well, I'll invite Carlos. And you jumped right in. So I was like, okay, cool, let's see. But I'm rusty at it too. I haven't played it in probably 6 years or 7 years. So I'm really rusty. And I choose a different variant. I actually chose the nicer versions. You can, mix and match with this version of the characters that are available. And I picked all the nicer ones where you have more money. There's like different variants. And this was the one where you get a lot of money and it's a little less mean than the standard version.
Well, thank you for the invite. Thank you for continuing to bring games to the table that we have, to my table, that we've been enjoying. You're always a great part of the show.
Yeah. Well, thank you, brother. And then lastly is, I already talked about Duel for Middle-earth, so that last week. And lastly is Park 2nd Edition. I posted that in the Discord. Played that with my parents again and a friend of theirs. And then my son, actually, for the first time, played that. And he really enjoyed it. I've now played that 2nd Edition 5 times, and I just love it. I think it's such a great game now that they've taken all the expansion content, put it together, streamlined the rules, put beautiful components on there, dual layer boards. It's really good. It's moved up to an 8.5 for me now.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I played it more and more on BGA, and I'm glad I didn't buy the expansions for the first one because I think I might want to get rid of my 1st edition copy and get the 2nd edition because I love what they did with the canteens and the way the photograph changes. All the changes they made make the game better. Yeah. There's nothing
100%.
I can't think of anything in the 2nd edition. Maybe the camp pieces and if you play with the camp kind of add on, like how that works is a little, I'm not 100% sure on yet, or I haven't played with it enough to figure out it. But
it's great. I love that. I love that edition, man. The camps are awesome because you don't like any of the actions that are available to you, like say in a 4 or 5 player game, you can just go do the camps. And then they basically have 3 campsites you can go to, and they're all 3 different abilities. And they're all good. And I think you actually have 4 to choose from. There's like 4 spots, but you only have 3/10. So once you've used those spots, they're gone.
They're gone.
But I love it because it just gives you more options. So you're not like you never have a bad turn.
Yeah, it's good. I really am enjoying the second edition. I think it's one that I'll probably look to get rid of first edition, get that second edition because I like it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely worth doing. Maybe you guys could play it on the stream sometime.
We haven't done that in a while.
I think did we play it? We might have played it on a stream a couple months
Y'all
back.
played it on BGA, I think. I think y'all played on BGA when it was in beta.
Yep.
It's like
Need to get a physical copy and play it, but yeah, it's fun. So, but again, it's
So
another
that's
one
my
where it's like
twin.
I would own it, but do I need to get the deluxe copy? Because the deluxe copy is that much of a difference?
right. Oh, you're gonna regret it if you don't. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my twig. I was gonna go into briefly what other geeky goodness.
Right.
OGG.
We haven't done the OGG in a little bit. What's your OGG?
So OGG, Switch 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Does that mean anything to you guys?
Well, Switch 2 does. I'm trying to keep my money, so don't tell my kids about it. I told them with the tariffs, it's not showing up in America anytime soon.
We have our Switch. Our kid is actually he's addicted to Roblox again, so he hasn't touched his Switch in a while. So we're not. I'm not going.
We're not mentioning it.
We're not going to
Not
Switch 2.
pursuing that.
Yeah, not pursuing it.
Yeah.
But it's good. Do you
That's
like the
wise.
Switch 2? It's good.
It's really good, especially with Bonanza. That was one of the reasons that I was interested in the Switch 2 is I'd seen some trailer footage of Bonanza, and I love Donkey Kong, like Tropical Freeze, and all the Donkey Kong games over the years. One of my favorite franchises, you know. And I saw it was a 3D, you know, kind of in the style of Mario Odyssey, which is like my favorite Mario game. Yeah. And so that's right, 3D.
Did we lose him?
No, okay.
No, I'm still here. I was
Okay.
just listening to music.
Oh, I didn't.
Wait.
Where's the music coming from?
But I don't know. Maybe it was on hold or something. I'm not sure.
I think I know where it's coming from.
Okay.
I found it.
Okay. So yeah, so Bonanza just is like Mario Odyssey, you know, but Donkey Kong style.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've played Mario Odyssey, but that's one of my favorite games. I love that on the Switch 1. And so Bonanza basically has a destructible environment, so you can just dig anywhere you want. Everything's destructible pretty much. And so you can dig under the ground, you can look for stuff, you can move. So there's all these different ways to complete objectives. You don't just have to follow a linear path. You can decide how you want to tackle the challenges in the game based off of what you want to do, because it's an open world, but the environment's destructible. It's so much good. It got a 10 out of it on IGN.
Nice. All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be doing this the Twitch 2 anytime soon, but hopefully we might maybe next year pick one up. I resisted the urge to buy the PS5 Pro because my wife has a PS5 regular. So, yeah, we'll see. So cool.
Definitely good though. And then Mario, what is it? Mario Kart World is pretty cool as well. Great graphics. I mean, like all the Mario Kart games are really fun. And then you can also play all your Switch 1 games on the Switch 2, so you don't have to worry about losing anything. And that's
nice.
They have improved audio, the improved visuals, so it goes up to 4K when you're docked.
Does the mouse work?
1080p. Yes. The Joy-Cons, you mean?
yeah.
Or when you flip the Joy-Con? Yeah, I've only used it a few times, but the few times I've used it works great.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of improvements. The audio is amazing, and then of course you got the 4K graphics, and then it's 1080p and handheld mode.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Definitely worth picking up. Maybe when the price goes down. I mean, it's got a pretty hefty price tag, but either save up or wait till the price drops. But definitely get Bonanza if you get a Switch 2. So that's my recommendation for OGG.
Very cool.
Very nice. Thank you, sir. He knows the format of the show better than I do. Good night, Chris. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys.
Oh, and the music piece. I'm going to bring that up here in a second. There was a comment in the chat that's why you heard it. I don't know if the folks at home heard it, but I'm going to play it right now. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good, brother. Bye-bye.
So in the comments, Pablo had posted how talking about Deliverance. Chris was talking about Deliverance. He says, I would so play Deliverance with some Gregorian techno music in the background. And I'm over here like all over the internet right now, like, like, oh man, I remember this one song. This would be awesome if I was, listening to this song while playing what do we call this game? Deliverance again. So it was, and then apparently I was playing it in the background and I didn't know that. And Chris could hear it through the cell phone.
Okay. There we go.
That's when he said he could hear the music going. But let me share my screen real quick so I can bring y'all in on the joke. Oh, geez. I'm a weirdo. I know that. Is this what you were talking about, Pablo? Gregorian techno? Yes, this would be good theme music for a night of deliverance.
Okay.
All right, that was my inside joke. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. Anything else for the folks at home?
Well, let me just jump in here. Let's play this here. I think I shared
yeah.
the audio, but you have to. Can you hear it?
Yes, sir. This is the D&D version.
Yeah.
I like the artwork. I like this look a lot better than I like the original one. The original one with that nostalgic 80s look to it. Like, hey, this is the Redbox edition.
Right.
But I think this one has more of a comics look to it. I think this one's it's going to have more adventures, more peripherals. Can we call it that? Peripherals, tokens, and cards.
Tokens. And it comes with dice, and it's $60 price tag, but it seems like it comes with enough for that. And obviously, D&D struggled lately with their editions and their online stuff, and then losing the Critical Role and the OGL fiasco from a couple of months back. So they need to lean heavily into this because this is like their milk the cow, right? You need to get it done. So, but this looks interesting. I've saved the pre-order screen, but I wonder, do you think Michael Fortino would be able to get this stuff at Armada?
They do get Wizards of the Coast stuff, so you know what? It's a chat away. I will find out for you.
Yeah,
and I will let you know.
Because maybe I'll do that and Battle of Hoth and support my local FGL. So,
don't disagree with that.
Other geeky goodness for me, I've got the new season of Strange New Worlds has started. Star Trek, the prequel with Pike as the captain, fantastic. 2 episodes in of the new season. One was very kind of serious, the Gorn invasion, and then the second one was kind of very cool Q-like episode. Don't want to say anymore, but really, really love the cast there. Fantastic.
I don't know. Q is not my favorite character. I know some people loved him. It just it warped my mind. His.
Well, this isn't Q. Q's not in the episode, but it's Q-like. Let's just say
right. Q-like, even Q-like. Like it's this whole other dimension, kind of a dream world, omni-powerful dude.
Mm-hmm. I love the Strange New Worlds cast. My wife's theater person. There's a musical episode of Strange New Worlds. They're gonna actually. Dragon Con has announced that they're going to do the staged Rocky Horror Picture Show version of the musical episode again at Dragon Con, and they're moving from like a 1,000-person room to like a several thousand-person room this year. So it was so popular. So I'm excited for that. And then Pablo, Lower Decks crossover, still my favorite episode. That was a good one.
Yes.
And then obviously I'll stay spoiler free, but James Gunn's Superman, fantastic, amazing movie. It's got me very excited for the DCU, kind of not the DCEU is no more, but the DCU, looking for, you have the Lanterns series coming up in a couple of months with several Green Lanterns. They have, the guy from Friday Night Lights, the coach from Friday Night Lights, is going to play a Green Lantern, and I forget the other guys, but and then Nathan Fillion is going to play Guy Gardner in it, which he was phenomenal as Guy Gardner. So I highly recommend Superman. And then what's interesting is, so because James Gunn also did Suicide Squad, or like was involved in Suicide Squad, and Peacemaker, which is another great show. Some of the aspects of Peacemaker and Suicide Squad are going to remain in the new DCU. And so there's a cartoon called Creature Commandos, which is like Suicide Squad. You're familiar with the thing? It's
Yes.
like they pick, yeah. So Creature Commandos is a follow up to that, where it's like, well, once the world found out that like we were using, metahumans or humans as the Suicide Squad, it became taboo to do that. So, but creature versions, like creature animals, like people who aren't really like villains who weren't really human,
like Rocket Raccoon.
There's like the weasel guy, if you remember from the Suicide Squad movie, the weasel dude. He's in it's a cartoon. It's very irreverent, very kind of violent, but it's a good little cartoon, and it ties Suicide Squad and Peacemaker into the Superman movie. There's kind of some crossover there, so it was interesting. So if you're looking for a fairly gory cartoon to watch, Creature Commandos is a good one. So those are my OGGs. And then
speaking of the Superman, for my OGG would be a comic book. So there was a comic book during our whole road trip that we did over the summer. I stopped at a Walgreens to pick up some beef jerky. I like beef jerky on road trips, just saying. But they had a comic book in there, I don't know what to call it. It's like a compilation of multiple comic books, but these are the comics that James Gunn tweeted about or spoke about that helped inspire him in the creation of the script for the new movie. So like it was like 3 or 4 different comics that he read, series that he read, that helped inspire the look and feel, the style of the characters that went into the new film. So I was really curious about that. So I picked it up for my son, but I just finished reading it today, and I was actually very pleased. Part of it was for me. I'm not a very big DC guy. Like I don't know a lot about DC, but as an example, the late 70s movie, Superman movie, really made Lex Luthor like just a straight up bad guy, right? Like he's just bad because he's bad, right? But in the comic book, the Lex Luthor comic book from I think like 2005, 2008, which was included in this compilation, really put him in a different light, Wayne. Like he in his mind, he's defending Metropolis from an outsider, an invader, a non-human who has the love of the people, right? But he wants to show them for what he really is. And in that small comic book that I read, that one edition, the first edition of it, or the first volume of it, it has him like doing things to help his people, right? Like his charitable side, right? And you're like, wow, I don't remember getting that deep of the Lex Luthor character. So I'm like, okay, I'm curious about the movie to see, did they go into more exploring his motivations and not just making him a bad guy for bad guy's sake? So all that to say, that's what I read today.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean they kind of do a little of that, but he's still just a bad guy. Like he's still, because ultimately he's misguided in his hatred, right? He's but it's good. I think this movie's version of Lex Luthor is probably one of the best versions of Lex Luthor. The way they handle him is good, as somebody who, he's not obviously as strong as Superman, but he can outthink him, right? And it's pretty cool. And they have just enough other characters, because they brought in Mr. Fantastic, or Mr. Terrific, who's amazing, and then Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, because they're kind of building out that universe. And man, I love Nathan Fillion, and he is so good as Guy Gardner in the movie.
That haircut, man. That haircut.
Well, and if you're familiar, I mean, Guy Gardner. You're not a DC guy.
I'm not familiar. I was not a DC guy.
Yeah, Guy Gardner.
I was an X-Men guy, not even a Marvel guy. I was an X-Men guy.
X-Men guy. Green Lanterns are, the international, not international, the intergalactic kind of police force, right? And Guy Gardner is kind of like the jerk cop of all of them, right? He's like the guy that, like, when the guys who run the Green Lantern Corps, when they're like, we want something done that's not necessarily the best thing, but we kind of have to do it. We'll send Guy in there because he's an asshole and he'll get it done right, and it's good. It's like a very a jerk. He's like, what would happen if a superhero was kind of an asshole, but he still does the right thing, but he kind of just doesn't care about like how he does it. It's good. So yeah, he was really good. I'm looking forward to the Green Lantern series, and my wife's a huge Green Lantern fan. So I know she's really looking forward to it as well. So I'm excited for it.
Folks, thank you so much for joining with us. I know it was a long one, but we did get a whole day of Dice Tower in there and some phone calls.
Only two more to go.
Very cool. 2 more days to go. We will either do it on Thursday or try to set in an extra day just to get this one knocked out, because I'm having fun listening to all the games that you guys are playing and the people you're playing them with. That's what we love about this show, is we get to talk about games we love, but more importantly, talk about people who also love those. Talk with people who also love those games. Those people are you. So thank you for your phone calls and for all your support. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'm your host, Carlos, with my man
Wayne.
And Rob was with us, so I'm sure he'll say goodnight. He should be back by next week. It'll be Rob and I, and Wayne will be out on cruise.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.